We're up and running and recording.
We're good. Our first question comes from Joe. Livestream Genius. This is a phenomenal program. However, if you have a slow connection that makes live streaming YouTube impossible, I assume LSG will not work. Is it possible for LSG to be changed to upload your video onto the LSG server and live stream it direct from the LSG server to avoid this slow connection problem? Frank?
Okay, the whole idea behind Livestream Genius is to allow you to stream from your PC, so there's no real server. But saying that, there's a lot of different options inside of Livestream Genius. You can stream from 240p up to 1080p. I actually just recently did a comparison test on ranking as well as video quality, and you know something? If you've got a slow connection, like if you've got a connection as slow as, let's say, 500K, like 500 kilobits per second, you can still live stream. You're just streaming at a lower resolution. The ranking is about the same. Actually, the ranking is the same. The quality is not as good, but it's not bad. If the video is in a window, you never ever know the difference. What I'll do is I'll share a link here shortly if you guys want to come check it out and see what the difference is between the different ranking qualities.
Outstanding. He has a second question, and it's regarding SendWire, and it says, is there any value to or a place for using the video upload feature of SendWire in the scheme of the Damon Buddy VIP cutting-edge video marketing, since you can upload 50 videos at a time now? Or are there too many limitations on control of the title and description by the SendWire method with spin tags that can be done better by LSG or a new feature of Buddy VIP?
Right. You know, that's something that's been looked into. We are looking to implement it into either a version 2.0 or the Pro version of Livestream Genius. So we are actually looking into that. It dives into much deeper issues, and we want to make sure we handle them properly. So the answer is yes, we are looking into it at least on the Livestream Genius side.
I would be a little bit hesitant, only because I know that SendWire, in its connections to people it does posting to, uses an API that gets identified. And that's why sometimes with your SendWire posts, it'll actually say at the bottom of the post, hosted by SendWire. Okay?
Yeah.
So if you're looking to avoid footprints in what you're doing, I think SendWire ties everything together almost as well as AdSense does. My 2 cents. This next question is from Alex. He's actually got 4. He says, I've got a couple of questions for tonight's Webby. Okay. Livestream Genius, is there a way to queue projects? Once we've poked hundreds of keywords, we want to upload hundreds of actual real money keywords, right?
Yes. It's another feature. It's definitely in the Pro version. The Pro version is going to be expanding Livestream Genius exponentially, and one of those things is providing the ability to have a queue videos. Absolutely, that's coming.
Okay. Livestream Genius, how big of a ranking boost does it really give compared to traditionally uploaded videos? Other than the possible ranking boost, I have no use for this software, and he thinks the price is quite steep. So just want to make sure this is actually useful for me. Your honesty is appreciated. Well, I think he's directing that question to me. It might be a little prejudice from you, Frank, so let me answer it first, okay? We've done a lot of testing, and the vast majority of the time, live stream ranks better than straight uploaded YouTube video. And Livestream Genius isn't the only way to do it. There are some pain in the rear end programs out there like Wirecast that you could use. But you're not going to be able to do the volume that you can do with Livestream Genius because there's too much interaction required. Now, having said that, in some testing that I was involved with, that Frank did and Michael did, we found a scenario where, and we think it's just part of Google's chaos factor, we put up a Livestream Genius video, and at the same time, with the same exact on-page optimization, we put up a regular video. And 80% of the time, the Livestream Genius video, of course, it takes a very dominant position and holds it, and the YouTube video is nowhere to be found. But 20% of the time, after a couple days, that Livestream video disappears, and the YouTube video slides up and takes its place and acts like an insurance policy. I think that was one of the most revealing things that came out of that testing we did, Frank.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I appreciate the guy's honesty. You know, yes, you can upload your videos. Nobody's saying you can't, and we've never said that. Can you rank videos that you upload instead of Livestream as good as Livestream? Absolutely. But you know something? If you're looking to save time, and to me, time is money. Time is always money. And if I can know where I'm going to be living with my Livestream video very quickly, then I know that I've got a boost right from the beginning. Instead of me having to spend a few weeks backlinking the video and trying to make it recognized by the search engines, I'm there and I'm ready to go, and I can just move on and do my normal backlinking, but all my backlinking is doing is securing my position or making it better from where it first landed. And that's really the advantage. You know, if you look at a lot of other software products, you know, Wirecast is a $500 price tag. So looking at how much time it saves and what it does, I think it's worth it personally. But, you know, I'm prejudiced, to be honest with you.
Well, listen,
Can I put my input on this?
Please.
Can I put my input on this, please? So I prefer no one actually buy VIP or live stream because you guys are going to give me competition that I haven't had before. I literally got rid of all of my high school kids who were doing uploading with Wirecast. It has saved me. It literally has saved me $800 per day because that's what you know. I had a team of 25 to 40 kids coming. Now I only have maybe 5 kids, and they're doing different projects. So it has saved me almost $4,000 a month just in the labor. That has nothing. I mean, I can run something through Buddy VIP, know what I need to rank for, send it over to Livestream Genius, let it run on my server for, you know, a few nights, and come back, and I already have sales. So, you know, on the fence, don't buy it because it's awful. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I don't want your
I always love your opinion. I do.
Okay. All right. Now, this next question and the answer are not going to make a whole lot of people happy, but I guess it bears some explanation. Number 3 from Alex. I understand the secret features are secret, but what are they about anyway? Do they improve the software in some way? Are they used automatically, or do we need to do something to use them? I didn't think much of it when you mentioned it the first time. By the way, I wasn't the one who mentioned it the first time. Thank you, Damon. But now with the second feature, people could potentially get kicked out of the Facebook group for bringing it up, so that it is a bit irritating. If it's so secret that people can get kicked out for talking about it and nobody must know it, why even mention it in the first place? And that there is a secret feature. Sorry, Jeff, but this one got me confused a bit. Maybe you can shine some light on this on the Webby, or not. Okay. Here's the deal. We have a couple of undocumented features. We call them secret features. They are secret for a reason. When we put this product out, we put it out incredibly simple, all right? Buddy VIP is really easy to use, but for some reason, some people still manage to get confused. And these couple of features we're talking about are advanced features, and I will give you this hint, they're not even about poking, okay? And so I cannot, at this time, take on the additional support of explaining it, especially to newbies who haven't mastered poking yet. all right, and the constant back and forth. I just don't have the time for it. So when I'm convinced that somebody has done enough poking and that they are in a position where they could actually take advantage of these advanced features, and I've done it maybe 4 times, I will go ahead and let somebody know how to utilize it, all right? But until that point, I just don't have the time to support it. And I don't want it abused. We're going to talk about abuse in just a minute. And Alex's question number 4. Maybe some tips and tricks for ranking actual money videos in case the poking keyword came out on page 3 of Google. Well, here's the thing. There are all sorts of things you can do to rank videos, right? But the whole point of this software is to find that stuff that you can rank instantly. It's not a course on ranking videos. I mean, Holly has ranked thousands of videos using GSA, and a number of us have used other powerhouse tools like Money Robot, etc. But this isn't about that. This isn't about how do you rank when you're outside of the money range. This is about how to get inside the money range instantly. Okay, let's see. Here's a question from Emmanuel. He says, can you explain in detail how you would use Buddy VIP for non-localized searches? He means general affiliate marketing, product promotion, CPA. Well, we have somebody on the call who has done this recently for CPA. Without giving away any markets, Mark, would you like to talk about that a little bit?
Sorry about that. I was muted. Can you guys hear me okay?
Hear you great.
So basically, it's the same concept that what Damon demonstrated in the Muncheye, basically going through the different networks and finding, just the titles of the products, taking those title names and then running them through different keyword tools to find relevant keyword phrases towards those main seed keywords, and then using Buddy VIP to poke, anywhere from 50, 80, 100, 200 keyword phrases, finding which one's ranked, then going ahead and making sure I delete the poked videos that were created, the closed caption videos that were created, and then creating a video SEO optimized video, throwing it back up there. That's pretty much basically it. It's what we've already been shown, but applied in a different manner to, just a different monetization method, I guess you could say. And by the way, hey, Frank Thomas, this is Mark. Nice to hear your voice.
Hey, pleasure, man. Pleasure.
When Mark was talking to me about doing this, he went into a network that he already belonged to. Many of you don't belong to any CPA networks, okay? And here's what I would suggest. That you don't worry about joining the network first, all right? I look for offers that have at least 3 different networks that are promoting them, and then I would follow the keyword process and just see what I could rank for. And when I came up with something that was money, then I would say, this is the network that I want to go and apply for. And the last thing I would say on that subject, or it may not be the last thing, but when you look at an offer, you go to Offer Vault, and when you look at an offer, it tells you how you're allowed to promote it. There are some things that some offers you can't use to promote. So you don't want to turn around and pick an offer that's saying, we will only allow you to promote it this way, and what you're doing doesn't qualify, right? No sense in poking that.
Yeah, that's definitely a big thing I always look at, Jeff. I'm glad you brought that point up. Definitely check to make sure that you can leverage whatever method it is that you're using. Some of the networks, you mentioned Offer Vault. There's Neverblue, Market Health, Max Bounty. Those are just a few.
Right, Offer Vault is sort of like a home of a lot of different networks. It's advertising platform for a lot of different networks. So you can really tap into a lot of the different places that you can make money. And for those of you who have never done CPA, there's some really interesting things. Like I have a client. He used to do about $50,000 a month, and I want to say about $20,000 of it was on a CPA offer for wrinkle cream, right? And the way the offers worked, they varied a little bit and they paid differently, but some of them would be as little as you get somebody to take a trial, where it says they get a free trial of this wrinkle cream, and they just pay shipping and handling of $4.95. And if they don't send it back within 2 weeks, the company puts them on a continuity program. But it didn't matter. Most of the time, it didn't matter to his commission. He got paid anyway, and he get paid, depending on the offer, anywhere between $80 and $125, okay, for getting somebody to take this $4.95 free, so to speak, trial. All right, so there's all kinds of things out there. I mean, there's nothing easier to make money on than giving something away for free, basically. People don't see the risk in it.
A few years back, Jeff, we actually researched and tracked that data for those types of offers, and we found that usually people stayed on automatic billing about 5 to 6 months before they would cancel out. So you were looking at something that you would be getting paid for 5 to 6 months. So it's like you're doing the same amount of work to get paid over and over and over versus getting a one-off payment. If you could find something that has a recurring payment model, for example, skincare cream, acne cream, something to that nature, weight loss pills, whatever the case may be.
If it's an affiliate situation like that, a lot of the CPA offers, the reason he can get that payoff of $80 to $125 is these were one-time payments. He didn't get them over the long course, but it didn't matter whether the person kept it or they sent it back. He got paid because he had fulfilled the action portion of CPA. But yeah, if you can get something that pays recurring, we all love that recurring income, right? Do the work once and get paid over and over.
Some of the offers actually give you a choice. They'll give you a choice to receive a higher one-off payment versus a payment spread over time that actually ends up being more. So you kind of have to, it's like a lump sum payment with the lottery. You get less money lump sum versus more money spread over payments. So you just got to look at that and make sure, which option you choose, because sometimes you just want to make money quick and get the one-off payment. Sometimes the one-off payment is a lot less. So you just got to be aware of how they're willing to pay you.
That's a very good point. Very good point. Okay. That's what I have. That's all I have for the email questions. Going to check the Facebook questions.
Yeah, we have some questions in the chat from GoTo as well, Jeff.
All right. Let me look at these Facebook ones first, and then we'll go over to the GoTos. Looks like a lot of these get looks like a lot of these get answered by other people before we get in there. All right, Jeff Basinski, review how to open new YouTube PVA accounts from Fiverr for the first time with Browsio, so they are set up correctly out of the gate. Also, any additional software product, mind mapping, kind of like that Damon has been touching on, better efficiency and the different products most of us have. Thanks. Simon?
Yeah, I heard Browsio there.
We were talking earlier, and you wanna tell them about that particular feature that I just absolutely love.
Yeah, it's a real simple feature. It's straight from the settings where you've got in the top left new and import. So you just click import, and we have this feature called the dynamic importer. and you can pretty much use any format, comma, delimiter, a pipe, straight line, a space, whatever you use in there, whatever format, any format whatsoever, and when you and the name and the username, project information, it doesn't have to be in any particular order, because when you import it, you're given the option to use drop-down windows for the data. So, you know, no matter what format you get it in, you just use the dynamic importer, and each line is a project. Very simple.
Okay, so it's creating the project and it's putting the account into that project.
Yeah.
And so what you want to do is, whether you're using Browsio or you're using Firefox and Foxy Proxy, you want to open up the account with the IP that you're going to be using when you're running Buddy VIP. Okay, the IP for that particular account. And I recommend going into the Gmail and take some other account you have and send it email. Okay? And what I do is I create a phony baloney email that looks like I'm announcing my new email address to the world. Okay? So have yourself I actually considered setting up a group of people. We just got to figure out how to pass the information around. So say we have 50 or 100 email addresses. Everybody gets those 50, 100 email addresses, and everybody mails to them. Could be 250, you know, whatever. The idea is to make the account look real and make it look like it's got email going back and forth. I think that may help to preserve the accounts a little bit. All right? But definitely make sure that you're logging in first. We're going to go over best practices right out of the best practice manual in a few, but didn't want to skip over your question.
Yeah.
Let's see. I hope these people who had difficulty figured out that the webinar moved. Has a question to Tim Parker. He says, I've ranked long tails and got businesses to agree to buy pay per lead. Yet it is incredibly rare that people call off these 35 plus long tail videos that are ranking on page 1, like one every 5 months. Is ranking for short tails the key to pay per lead, or is there something else that is more important? Mr. Parker, are you here?
Yes, Jeff. I'm not quite sure about his question there, but in general terms, with ranking for long tails is really where the money is. You don't find many people that are just going to type in a very short term. Over the course of history, it's been proven time and time again that the real money is in the long tails. The same ability to rank a video is going to be pretty much, you know, in the same means. I find that in most of the videos that we do, it covers, it's not just about one specific search, and that's the reason we can use the same videos for ranking for multiple keywords. So I'm not quite sure if that's the answer. Looking for, if it'd be a little more specific, I'd be more than happy to give him a very direct answer.
Hey, can I chime in here, guys? Let me just chime in quickly, if that's okay. Tim, I totally agree with you. You know, the one thing that we always have to remember is when people are really hunting, they really start putting in very specific things because, you know, the search engines like to return back everything, including last week's lunch. So when somebody's really serious and they're really looking, and just watch yourself, monitor your web activity. When you're really looking for something, you start getting very specific, and that's the long tail. And that's where the money is. And, you know, use Google Suggest. Google Suggest is your friend. If there's any one trick or tip that I can offer, that's it. Use Google Suggest because it's going to start showing you the long tails that people are putting in that could be very good money keywords and easy to rank for.
I like the tools that go out and and pull the stuff out of Google suggests that have been typed in the last 60 days. Things like Keyword Researcher. But with all keyword research, my keyword research always starts with me, a pen and a paper, and just asking all the question all the ways that I would possibly ask it. And if you're not getting the activity on the long tails, then I would question the long tails themselves about what is their buyer intent. You know, how to fix a leaky faucet, or how to get rid of something. Making sure that it actually has the buyer intent, because that's what somebody's going to type in when they're looking to solve a problem. Okay, somebody asks, will you implement a proxy feature? We have 2 proxy features implemented. I think it's Elias. We have 2 proxy features implemented. We have separate proxy feature for scraping versus for poking. And we have a new manual that I believe Mark has uploaded to the file area. Did you get that in the file area, Mark?
Yes, that's actually uploaded as a post, so I have to make sure that it's redirected into the file area. But if you look, there is a post there with both files. I had to zip them up to make them one file.
Gotcha. Somebody says, I saw the recent last chance for LSG at the current price. Is that for the Pro version? I believe the Pro version isn't out yet, correct, Frank?
No, the Pro version is not available yet. It's still on the the workshop, so to speak. If you do jump in and come in and purchase the standard version, you will get preferential treatment over everybody else when Pro comes out. So we'll give you the ability to upgrade at that point in time, and the deal there will be better than anything you'll see anywhere else. So what I'm saying is, if you jump in, and this is not a scarcity tactic, the price is going up, and the price is going up simply because the software is getting better and better and better. So
yeah, and I think that's going to be the trend. I promise you, and I know a lot of people have asked me to raise the price of Buddy VIP. Buddy VIP will be going up shortly. So somebody asks, Robert Gage, could you please go over the proper way to use proxies, both private and Squid? Well, Squid proxies, the proxies that I buy from Squid are private proxies, okay? And we touched on this a little bit earlier about using the proxy with YouTube, your YouTube accounts. It's the email, comma, the password, comma, the proxy, colon, and the port, and always use the same proxy with that particular account. But we'll be covering that in the best practices manual. Let's see. Somebody says, is 2.4 out yet? No, it's on my computer, ready to go out. We are in the process of doing our quality control testing. Now, for some reason, my screen stopped scrolling. Somebody says, can we use HMA? And the answer is, I don't recommend it. HMA usually doesn't work well with Google. Anybody else have a different experience? Don't hear anything.
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
Jeff,
go ahead.
HMA is usually blacklisted, isn't it? HMA, a lot of the
Yeah, it's
IPs.
usually blocked for most Web 2.0s, and including Google. And you only need the proxies, really. You only need the proxies on the YouTube side, because on the scraping side, we've implemented a CAPTCHA system. So when Google says, I don't like what you're doing, fill out this CAPTCHA, it's taken care of. All right, Arthur says, I'm slightly confused by the instruction, do not touch the Buddy VIP panel. That means that while the software is running, don't go clicking on anything, because, well, most of those buttons are now set to stop the program because people were clicking stuff and they were causing additional processes to spin off, and then sending us these crazy support tickets where it looked like everything was falling apart. How could we have all of these different issues? Well, because he had different parts of the software clashing with each other. Okay. Does this mean I can only run Buddy VIP with nothing else running on my computer? No, it just means that you can't touch anything while Buddy VIP is running. I cannot click on the panel to minimize Buddy VIP and let it run. Yes, you can, but if you accidentally click on anything else, guess what? It's going to stop. It says, if I can't run it on the PC during the day while I'm doing other things, then can I run Buddy VIP on one of my VPS servers? Yes, you can. And the other thing that I also recommend is that you tell Buddy VIP to run before you go to bed at night. Wake up to lots of good news. And I see Brian Wade tried to answer your questions. Stefan asked, can you please provide the point of security as a text file, please? I do not understand the question. Arthur, while testing poking in a couple of cases as an experiment, I left a small number of poke videos up for a few days, less than a week. I discovered that some had hit page 1 initially, vanished. Some of those had vanished, came back, but came back to page 2, and a few of those that vanished never came back. For this reason, it seems to me that occasionally I'll post a money video, but it will not rank as well as desired, so that means I'll need to boost it a bit. So in the interest of efficiency, how does HOA, who knows what HOA is? How does HOA videos compare to live? Are you trying to say Hangout videos?
Yeah,
compared
that's
to live stream videos when it comes to ranking.
He's talking about Hangouts, HOAs, the Hangout, Google Hangouts. The ranking is actually fairly close. Live streaming, I find, is a little bit better. The real benefit of live streaming with Livestream Genius is you can actually pre-create your video. You can make it look as good as you want to, and then stream it in. With the HOA, let me think. Michael, you want to chime in here? Hangouts on Air, yes, that's what it is. Yes, thank you. I've tested both, and they both rank, but I do like the convenience of being able to just stream things up. That's the reason why I built the tool in the first place, because I wanted that convenience.
Yeah,
Well, there's also a gigantic difference in the quality between Hangouts on Air, and Livestream Genius. There's no comparison between the quality. Just Livestream Genius is light years ahead of it in terms of the quality.
yeah, it's definitely on the quality.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Also, it's on the quality as well, and that takes a big one. Now, Frank earlier was saying, that on quality, he didn't see much of a difference when he was live streaming them on the ranking between the 240 and the 1080. But a live stream, it definitely does rank a little bit more than a Hangout normally would, just because it's seen as more newsworthy. YouTube prefers having really nice, good quality videos compared to something that's choppy and a message. I used to rank videos a lot on Hangouts, and my clients absolutely despise them. They would be like, my lips are moving 5 seconds after my voice moves, and it was driving them crazy. And the videos are, you have to do them live, and you have to get your thumbnails. It's like a dumbed-down version of Wirecast in a certain sense.
Yeah, and I want to chime in here too quickly. The thing is, you guys have to remember is that with the actual streaming element within Livestream Genius, it wasn't thrown together. There was a lot of effort put into that. I actually spent about 2 or 3 months studying the stream dynamics of YouTube, and I tried to emulate exactly what they wanted as closely as possible. And I've also got probably about 5 or 6 years experience working with all the major video stream vendors, so I understand streaming. And I brought that experience into Livestream Genius, and this is one of the reasons why I say to you, if you've got a slow internet connection, stream at 240p, 360p. The quality is actually, I dare say, better than a Hangout Online. And it's because we've tried very hard to match exactly what YouTube wants to see in a video stream.
I'm going to throw two things in here. The first one is, and I told this to Frank the first time I met Frank online, I considered creating what is now Livestream Genius, okay? And of course not all the buzzers and bells and capabilities he has, but just something that would stream video without me having to deal with all of the crap of Wirecast. And very quickly I came to the conclusion that I was in way over my head, that you need a lot of knowledge of how streaming works to be able to pull it off. And he told me some of the challenges he had to overcome. So my hat's off to you on that, Frank. But I think, Arthur, there's something you miss in this whole picture. Nobody's brought it up. And that is, okay, you poked these videos, you left them up too long, and you saw that some of them disappeared, some of them came back but in a lower position. But there's a big difference between your money video and your poked video. And that big difference is when you put that money video up, you want to be doing what I call perfect on-page optimization. Okay? You want to have the right description, the right everything, because if somebody else is poking, you don't want them to be able to knock you out of the way. You're not going to put a video up that just has a keyword phrase in the title, the description, and the tags. You're going to do the whole thing that you would normally do, and just know that you're going to start off on page 1, right? So if YouTube comes along and you've got nothing to the title, the description, or the tags to speak of, yes, I would expect it to drop. So it's not a very good comparison to think that that's what's going to happen to your money video. Does that make sense? Okay. He has some secret questions, but if I mention his secret questions, he'll be demanding a refund. All right. Kenneth, can you explain in detail the strategy where you LSG videos and then upload the same video to a channel normally for insurance? All right. We talked about this earlier. I'll say it again. Take your live stream video and a regular video, and you're going to upload both of them, and you're going to do the same exact on-page optimization of both. If this live stream video happens to get flagged as that 20% that they knock out after a couple of days, that YouTube video will slide right up into its position. Don't know how else I can say that.
Yeah, and it's really, guys, you got to realize, and it's an insurance policy. Actually, we're adding it into the Pro version too, that ability to do either or both. And it really is to kind of cover that small amount of videos that will slip and change places. But saying that, do you have to do it? No. If you live stream and your video's there, you're pretty good. One of the big things is after you've live streamed a video, and everything is finished and everything is done, it looks like an uploaded video in YouTube. And if you go into your video pages, the only way you could ever tell the difference is if you look at the name of the file that after it's streamed. It has a different name on the file. But the thing is, you still got to do all the things that you need to do. You need to really solidify that position. Hey, let's say I've done it. I've live streamed the video, got the #1 position in a local lead gen environment. And what I had to make sure was I did all my work after, backlinking and syndication and all that extra work that comes after just to solidify that position. So uploading another video wasn't necessary. Do I upload videos every time? Rarely. I usually live stream, do my syndication, and move on.
Okay. Somebody asked, can you run Buddy VIP on a VPS? And if so, can you run it on your local computer as well? And can you do it simultaneously? Yes. Someone says, can you ask Simon about the things that need to be turned off in Firefox to help tracking for those without Browsio? There is a plugin that will disable WebRTC. Simon, do you happen to remember the name of that off the top of your head?
I don't know about a plugin that disables it. There's a way that you have to go into. I know how to go into the config. It's a thing you have to do via the config of Firefox. I don't know about the plugin. I've never seen one. I'm sure there are.
Do a search on the Firefox add-ins for disable RTC.
Yeah, I've got a video on YouTube.
Yeah, in Buddy Enterprise, we were initially using that until we had it. We got it coded inside one of the parts of UBot that we use.
Yeah.
Let's see. Somebody says you also have to think about how people are speaking to Google via mobile these days in regards to keywords. Good point. What is the status of the 8:59 PST webinar on Sunday, January 31st? Was it oversubscribed? I opened GTW at 8:30. Okay, so somebody else didn't get the message. I guess I'll have to watch the replay. Marissa says, Buddy VIP plus LSG equals ranking low-hanging fruit keywords like a boss. Where would a placeholder come into play during this process? Trying to figure out how to show potential local clients proof. Somebody else want to take that one?
Can you repeat the question there, Jack, please?
I don't do placeholders. Okay, I don't do play. I know people that do. I know somebody who put up. They literally ranked about 400. Oh, tongue is tied. Help me out here. The image that you start your video with, thumbnail, ranked about 400 thumbnails, right? And he did it by setting up as live events, right? He was using Wirecast and he was setting them up as live events, and then he goes and he does all of this SEO and backlinking, and he's pushing everything, right? So I mean, and he's ranked for some good money stuff, some good attorney stuff and whatnot. But now, when he goes back and he's actually got clients who are willing to pay for some of these positions, he cannot stream his videos in because there's a limit, and I don't know if it's YouTube's limit or if it's Wirecast limit. I think it's Wirecast, but there's a limit that says if you have more than X number of videos in the account, we can't stream to it. And so he's going to have to pare that down.
Yeah, I have that limit. It's like it's pretty small limit for Wirecast. I could only set up 29 streams at a time, and then I'd have to stream all 29 videos and then reset up 29 again. So, and I did that. I would go into placeholders about a year and a half ago when I was dealing with solar panels, and we would put up 1,500 Hangouts and just use them as placeholders because we could prove that we could rank. But when we went in to stream it, you couldn't stream it. So it's all, literally you have to basically start over because you can't put anything in there. So if you're going to do that, you're going to have to it's a pretty hard way to do it.
Well,
you can't do it well.
He has to delete videos out so that he can stream stuff in. And these are like his children, you know. He's put all of this TLC into them, and he's got this vested interest, and he just can't bring himself to delete them. So he's in a state of paralysis. It's actually kind of sad. But so I don't do the thumbnail in terms of you know, ranking a placeholder. My thing is, look, until you're ready to put your video up there, don't do anything. Don't give anybody else any ideas. Don't show them how easy it is. Okay? All right, let's see. Somebody says, for the foreigners between us, the answer I got from this, okay, let's see. We now can operate with other languages. If you folks didn't know it, there's some sample files, and it's all about just having the file that you're using use UTF-8. All right, so we created the files and we put them in there, and if you take those files and put them into your export folders, you'll be able to use any foreign character set. Question regarding Buddy VIP projects for local search. Phrase plus location. I'm in Australia and I want to rank videos for phrase plus location in Delhi, India. How do I do that? Meaning, do I set up an Indian YouTube account, or can I use a YouTube account that I have here in Australia? I would think that a YouTube account from India is going to rank better in India. But I don't have any hard data to back that up. Anybody else?
If you're using your local settings, like the geolocation, things like that, then I do find that you do get a slightly better ranking. I'm in Canada, so there's times when I'm doing local environments, and I do find that my rankings are slightly better. And sometimes it makes no difference at all. It really depends on the search engines, what it's feeling like that day when it comes to that particular niche.
Yeah, that's a good one there, Frank, on that. I have in the past, like for example, I had a potential client for a big yacht manufacturer in France. And what I did is I actually used Viper VPN. I logged in, set up a French IP address, and then live stream my video on a French YouTube account. And it ranked great. It's still ranking on page 1 of Google.
Hey Jeff, I just got to. Can I interject real quick? The
Please,
question
go ahead.
before about the placeholder. Michael, what we talked about yesterday when we did the hangout, can't he do that? And I'm talking in total like you guys don't know what I'm talking about, but I don't know if your people here are buyers or not, so I don't want to give the secret out. But what I was talking to, Michael, can you respond?
Yeah, what are you talking about? The placeholder, doing a placeholder with a thumbnail, or?
Well, you can have a placeholder, but my questions that I had yesterday, can't you use that in the same circumstances?
Yeah, you probably could.
Because he's sending links, they have power. Why couldn't you? Totally could, as long as you can change that option.
Yes, yeah. You're talking. You're talking about the secret method there, Holly.
Yeah. Okay, that was my question. So it is doable. It just it would be some work, I think, because you'd have to manually do it.
Yeah, it definitely would. Now, Frank, we're actually working on something like this in the pro version of setting up an event and having it go back in later and stream it. Do you want to say something on that, Frank?
Sure, absolutely. One of the things that has been brought forth as a feature request was the ability to pause a stream and then go and syndicate it, because sometimes doing pre-syndication on a stream will help boost it even a little bit more. And I totally agree. Then this is something that's kind of come out of the woodwork as we've gotten users on the Livestream Genius, and some of our pro users, like Holly, you're here, and you're one of these pro users who really has helped us out. The pro version will have that ability. How it's going to look yet, we're not sure, because again, it's such a simple thing, but there's so many different ways to make it look. We want to make sure we keep the simplicity of the software in place while adding in these features that really help boost videos. So the short answer is yes. Pro will have this, and it will let you do pre-syndication. How that's going to look, I'm not sure yet. How's that for a safe answer?
Okay.
Okay.
Some of these questions I'm going to skip over because I have covered them in detail in the best practices manual. In terms of the number of keyword terms to poke at a time and the time between pokes. We can talk about that in a few. Tim, are you still here? I know you were supposed to leave at 1:45.
I show he's still on.
Tim? Yeah, he's probably getting ready for whatever it is he had to do. Sorry, Frank, can't do that follow-up, but I'll ask him privately. Joe Glickman asks, how often do private proxies fail and require getting a replacement? I have a set of 50 proxies from Squid Proxies that I've had since June 6. And once I got them as all U.S. proxies, I haven't had to replace any.
Yeah, I'll chime in there too. Yeah, go ahead, Holly.
This question's for Jeff, actually. I have a question. You know how you have it that you can only check in Google US? Is there something that you could do in a future upgrade to pick if you want to check Google US or YouTube? Because a lot of the videos that I do, I have better search volume on YouTube itself versus on Google, so I have to actually hand check it. That would be a nice thing that I could just check YouTube for poking.
Put it in a support ticket.
Okay.
All right. We do consider each and every request, and I would say we probably implemented at least 80% of them that have come in. Will Livestream Genius work with a 0.44 megabit per second upload speed? I think based on what you were saying earlier, Frank, wouldn't that be a yes? You just go down to the lowest resolution?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I was just looking at the speed test differences I did. 0.44 might be pushing it. I think the lowest stream rate that YouTube will accept is 0.52. So about half. He's very close. I would say it's one of those try it and see if it works, but it's going to be close.
All right, and Robert Gage is asking, with LSG, if you're streaming at 240 or 360, should I render my videos at 240, 360, or make them at 720, 1080?
I have, here's me doing complacency here. I found that the better the video quality you can offer Livestream Genius, the better the results that you get. And the actual test that I did, I used a 4K video, so ultra high definition, and I allowed Livestream Genius to stream it down into the proper resolution. Now, there's a caveat here. If you're doing that, it's going to take a lot more CPU power, thus a much more powerful computer. You will definitely need a quad-core computer. If you can get good quality and set up your video at 240p and then just stream it, you can use a very low power computer to do it then. So that's probably the qualifying answer. The better the video you give it, the better the results. I normally actually feed Livestream Genius 720p videos, and I usually stream it out at 720p too, so the quality is pretty good. But don't try to go the other way. Don't try to put a 240p and expect 1080p. It's better to put 1080p and stream out 240p, if you know what I mean. But I would say experiment. Try it. Try a 240p video. Try 720p and just take a look at it and at full screen and see if it's a difference. But don't get fixated on the full screen version. People don't look at your videos in full screen. It's not like they're going to put it on their 60-inch TV at home. They're looking at it at a screen that's less than 17 inches in diagonal, and in a lot of cases less than 4 inches. So that's why I say 240p and in a closed window actually doesn't look that bad, and it still looks better than Google Hangouts, to be perfectly honest with you.
All right. Somebody asked when I talked about putting up both a live stream and a regular YouTube upload, did I put them into the same channel? I've done it both ways. I put them in the same channel, and I put them in separate channels. If you wanted to be, conservative, put them in separate channels so that somebody doesn't say he's got the same exact video there twice. You have to understand, when you go and you achieve a ranking somewhere, somebody else isn't achieving that. And there are a lot of jealous people in the world that just complain to YouTube about, this video doesn't meet the quality guidelines of YouTube, whatever. I had somebody recently that somebody complains about their video, and it wasn't even a poked video. It was just an affiliate video, and YouTube came in and took it out. And I don't know, they say they look at them, but I don't even know if they really do. Okay, so anything you can do to avoid falling into that trap. I've got about 3 more questions here, and then we're going to go over to the GoToWebinar questions.
Yeah, Jeff,
Hey, Jeff.
I was going to ask you, they're asking for a coupon for Live Streaming Genius.
Yes, we actually have one for Jeff right now. It's Jeff Disc. That's Jeff, J as in Juliet, EFFDISC. Is that right, Michael?
Yeah, let me check that out right here. Let me just check.
Yeah, it's DISC, and there's a page. There's an announcement in the Facebook group, and there's a link that goes to a page, and on the page it lists the discount. So you could actually be down to about 50% off.
Yeah, and the price is going up here shortly. Can I just want to touch in this video, this whole thing, Jeff, too, of this competition and people, coming after your videos and that. If you read the terms of service of YouTube, they're very clear. If we do any kind of monetization, and if it can be construed as monetization in any way, YouTube has the right to take it down, and we have to remember that. Hence, why Livestream Genius is written like it is, and if this is not a push for Livestream Genius, even Jeff's tool, it's written the way it is to be as fast as possible to find those niches. Now, if you find the niche, if you stream the video and you get shut down, light it up on another channel, guys. Like I frequently, I use aged accounts almost exclusively now, and that's a whole different discussion. But, I've already burnt a bunch of them because they get nailed and I move on. And it's funny, if you talk to a lot of the high-end marketers, I've come to realize that it's okay. They're going to catch you. Like I had my AdSense account shut down because I had too many pages, too many sites. And I was really bummed out for like 2 years over that. But I have come to realize that you just pick yourself back up and open up another account. Set up another account and get it going again, and that's the game we have to play with Google.
Yeah, and Frank, I'd like to add one more thing to that. If you've listened to my videos in our members area of Livestream Genius, if you're a member already, one of the things that I like to do is I'm a strategist. Okay, so I play a lot of war games. I play a lot of Command and Conquer type of games. I love strategy. And whenever I'm planning my battle, I plan my video streaming, my marketing, like I do as a strategy, a video game, because I know that there's going to be people out there that try to take me down or take down my videos. So if I'm going for like a niche, like a launch jack, I know that there's going to be another jerk out there that's jealous that I'm ranking page 1, number 1, and will flag my video. So what I always do is I set up 3 additional marketing videos. Yes, it's a little bit more work, but I set them as unlisted, and I just wait. I wait like the fox in the wood, waiting for the rabbit to go by. So if someone turns off one of my videos, if one of my videos, one of my accounts gets turned off by Google, I light up the second one, and it goes right up to the same spot. And if that one goes down, I'll light up the third one. And that's what I do. Whenever I do my video marketing, I plan my strategy ahead to try to rout the enemy. Do not allow the enemy to take down your business, but don't put all of your eggs in one basket either.
This is Mark. Can I jump in on this one?
Yeah, get Michael to stop talking because he's giving away all the really good secrets now.
Well, then you're probably gonna get a little ticked with me here. I originally started as a black hatter. For a few of the people that I see in the room that I've know me a little bit, I was a black hatter, and so we always thought the way Michael just thought. And it frustrates me when people don't put up more than one website, especially local businesses. But long story short, what frustrates me is when people ask questions about. There was a question. I'm not sure if Holly saw it. It was directed at her, but I'm going to address it really quick. They ask, does GSA rank videos today? And if not, what do I need to team up GSA with? And can I rank this video in this city for a plumber, whatever the case may be? And what are you using? And what is your method? And what is your strategy? Here it is at the end of the day, folks. This is really, really simple. And if you guys disagree, panelists, please jump in. We can't paint every market and niche with the same brush, period. The way Google's algorithm is looking at a plumber or carpet cleaner in Ontario, California versus Chino, California, the results are always going to be different. There are hundreds of algorithm points being updated hourly, let alone on a daily basis. You look for something in the morning, Google it in the afternoon, Google it in the evening, you're going to see different results every time. The numbers change because they're pinging or hitting off a different database. So the way that you rank something, the way that Michael and Frank Thomas and Holly, the way they would apply their knowledge, even though we're all taught or learned from the same person, is going to be different because we have a different writing style. We have a different way of, working this system, if you will. We all add it's a recipe, but we all add our own flavor to it. So when we ask questions, and I do it too, when we ask questions, they're too generic. If this tool doesn't work, what will work with this tool to make a video rank? You can't say that because every market and niche is different. And the way I want to end this is with 8 words that I live and swear by, and that folks that have been with me know me. I say this all the time. In order to get found, crawled, indexed, and ranked, you got to test, track, measure, and tweak. End of story. If you're not running your metrics, which there's plenty of software tools to do this stuff, all you got to do is, like when Holly was mentioning about checking in YouTube how things are ranking versus in Google, there's software out there that you can go ahead and upload a list of URLs. There's different SaaS, software as service that'll do rankings for you and check URLs and see where they're placed. So there's tons of tools out there, and Holly's from what I'm understanding and hearing on the call, she's a beast, and I mean that in a good way. She's doing stuff that will put people to shame. A lot of these IAMers out there don't really do this full time. They do this, they have a 9-to-5 job, and then they come in at night and do this and sell you their courses because they don't know how to make money any other way. Whereas you got Frank Thomas and Michael and Tim and Holly and everybody on this call today, this is what we do for our quote-unquote living 24/7. And so you're learning stuff today that is like 100% current, cutting edge. And just realize, don't ask those questions that are very generic. You have to apply them very specifically. As they said about the local search, the point of presence, if there's not a lot of people going after that city in India and that service or whatever it is, then you're not going to have a lot of problems ranking for it. But if it's something that has a lot of competition, like a real estate niche, you could throw GSA at it, you could throw this at it, you could throw that at it. But when you're dealing with authority sites like Trulia, and Century 21, and all these authoritative real estate sites, it's going to be a lot tougher. No matter what recipe we give you, it's going to take a lot more work building backlinks and so forth to that video or to that site. So everything is relevant based on that individual site.
Well
said.
said.
I want to take that just one step further too. When people ask about a particular tool, and a lot of you have heard my rant on this, right? When people say, well, would this tool do it or will that tool do it? And listen, every tool out there, including the one you have in front of you, including Buddy VIP, right? These are just automation tools. That's all they are. They don't do anything that you couldn't do by hand, right? And if you use it right, you have a good shot at success. If you use it wrong, you have a great shot at failure, okay? Taking GSA and sending 200,000 garbage links to something isn't necessarily going to do anything for you, all right? Taking an automation tool and sending 30 quality links that are from a related niche sites is a whole different animal. All right, so how you use these tools makes a difference. A lot of people want to go in and they just want to be lazy, and they think that these tools are a way of being lazy. No, to make money online, you have to do a lot of different things. All right, we all have practically doctorates in marketing by the time we start making money, because we've had to learn so much different stuff about conversion, about persuasion, about search engine optimization. There are so many different skills that we pick up over time. But you have a tool that gives you an advantage that I've never seen. Can anybody on this call, you guys, I mean, between us, there's got to be 80, 100 years close to of experience here. Can anybody tell me at any point in your internet marketing career, okay, was there a tool that you actually came out and says, I can do this, and I know in 5 minutes I can be on page 1? Has this ever happened?
No, you have to put the work in. If you're not willing to put the work in, then you might as well just stop now. If you're not willing to do your own testing, then you might as well stop now, because it's just like Mark said, you have to be willing to do all of your own testing. I lost, and nobody knows this, and I can't believe I'm going to publicly say it, but I lost 1,000 sites 2 nights ago. And people think, well, 1,000 is not that many when you have 25,000. It's 1,000 sites times 180,000 locations. So each site, plus all my keywords. I mean, I lost entire networks. I probably lost a good $20,000 to $30,000 in 2 nights ago. But that's not going to stop me. I'm not going to let Google win. So I talked to a couple people about how they're approaching it. I went and sat in a quiet room with a ball and hit it against the wall a few times. Had some discussions with Michael and Jeffrey, and I'm going to come back out and now let them win. But if I'm not willing to do the testing, then I'm going to let them win. I'm going to let Google win. So you need to do the testing for yourself.
Yeah. I think, Holly, you hit a really good point there, in the fact that, we have to always realize that there's only one fertilizer that builds success, and that is trial and failure. That is the fertilizer to success. And I don't even consider failure a failure. I consider failure fertilizer for that success, and you've got to do these things. And you hit the nail on the head. All of you hit the nail on the head. It's fantastic.
Not to steal any of Jeff's thunder with Buddy VIP, because it is a kick-ass tool, no question about it. But if some of those of us who were in this space in 2005, we remember back in the blogging and ping days, we were able to rank things within minutes, like 2 to 3 minutes, and you were getting quarter clicks, dollar clicks with AdSense, making money with blogging and pinging. It was that quick, because even back then we were using Yahoo pipes to blast things out via RSS and mashing things up. But, today and in the past, since those tools back in those days, there hasn't been anything like Buddy VIP at all. And to answer a question somebody said about, they said this for Michael, multiple video strategies was brilliant. That was gold. again, going back to, we in some markets and niches can blast 50, 100, 200 videos up there, but it isn't necessary to do that if you have a properly optimized video. You went and looked at the competition, you did a competitive analysis to see what it would take for the title, the description, the tags, how many shares, likes, subscriptions you would need to beat that video. You don't need to go crazy uploading hundreds and thousands of videos, although it doesn't help to cast a wider net. But if you just take the time to do what somebody else isn't willing to do, I always tell my students and customers, if you are everywhere your competition is and everywhere they're not, you'll win every time. Just do 10% more, which means spend a little bit more time doing your competitive analysis, spend a little bit more time doing your video SEO, and you're going to win with that one video. But you could get taken out because the Google dance, it could disappear. Somebody can complain, whatever the case may be. Somebody can file a copyright, and then they take your video down. Then you got to prove that, no, you didn't use copyrighted music or images in the product or video. At the end of the day, we prefer, like Michael, having lots and lots of videos out there. It's like going fishing. When you go fishing, you put one line in. No, you put a pole out there with a line with maybe 2 or 3 liters at different depths so you can catch the fish using different types of bait.
I'm going to go into some of these best practices because they cover some of these questions, and we're going to be coming up on 90 minutes here pretty quick, right? So I want to get through some of these. The goal of the manual that I gave you on best practices, it's in the files section, is twofold. One, it's to protect the process for all. And number 2, it's to protect your accounts. And so we have some basic principles. We don't want to draw unnecessary attention to ourselves or our accounts, so we do not leave breadcrumbs. We set up our YouTube accounts, we warm them up to an IP, we test them, we poke at a moderate level, we gather our results, and we delete the poking videos. Let's take these in order. We set up our accounts. The best use of our time is to purchase single PVA verified accounts from Fiverr. Do not enable Google Plus on these accounts. We warm them up to an IP. When you log into these accounts for the first time, be sure you're using the same private proxy that you're going to be using to poke with this account. There are 2 recommended options for this. We covered both. One is Browsio. Somebody said, is Browsio a good match for Buddy VIP? Yes, it is. Browsio is a great match for Buddy VIP. I might not buy Browsio if Buddy VIP was my only use for it, because once I've done those accounts, it's done. However, if you're doing Web 2.0 work and you don't have Buddy VIP, you're creating a lot of extra work for yourself if you're trying to maintain those accounts. Simon, are you still here?
I am.
Simon, I think you said something to me about a $50 discount coupon if somebody wanted to get into Browsio.
I did, and I think I could put it in the link here. It's an easy one. It's just Jeff50 and JEFF50, and that'll get $50 off. And also the link. Did you get that? I sent through just before. I don't know if you got that. If I sent it to the right person. Let's have a
Mark?
I had a link in here. I sent.
Go ahead and send it over to Jen Ray, the panelist organizer, Jen Ray.
Sorry. Okay, let's have a look. Jen Ray.
I'll let you take it.
There you go.
You got it?
I'm checking right now. Did you send it via chat or Q&A? So it's not popping up here.
Oh, where should I think I sent it via chat.
Okay, let me see.
Via the chat?
Yeah, here it is. Got it.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'll place this on the notepad page right now and send it out to everybody.
Cool.
Okay, so we have our 2 recommended options for warming it up. One is to use Firefox with Foxy Proxy, and the other one is to use Browsio, right? If you don't have the money for Browsio, Foxy Proxy is free, but if you're doing Web 2.0 work, Browsio, like VIP Buddy, they're not just best in class, they're only in class, because there are no other programs that do what these do. And I was so impressed with Browsio when I first saw it, and Simon and I were talking about me promoting it. Simon asked me, he said, "What do you want?" And I says, "I don't want anything." I says, "I think this program is so important that I'm going to advertise this as a no-commission webinar."
Yeah.
So that they take it seriously. And we had 100 people overnight take it seriously.
Yeah. That was amazing as well.
Okay.
And
So with either one, after I've logged in, then like I said, I go ahead and I send out some emails. All right. You don't necessarily have to. These accounts are easy to replace, but the more real they look to Google, the easier your life is going to be. Then we test them. There's a simple test you can do at this point to make sure all your accounts are ready for Buddy VIP. This came from Aaron. A great idea from Aaron, this college kid. I'll tell you a story in just a minute. But he says he takes his accounts and he runs them through the delete process. And what happens when it does that is it goes through and it logs into each of the accounts to delete all the videos, even though there's none there, right? The beauty is it's checking the fact that the software can log in. And this is going to help you with your quota, and we're going to talk about quota in just a few minutes, right? So after we test them, we poke at a moderate level. We don't want to do anything to set off alarms at YouTube. So I choose to throttle both my quota and the speed at which I fill that quota, all right? Quota is the maximum number of videos that you can safely add to an account during a 24-hour period. Now, we have lots of evidence to tell us that somewhere between 40 and 50 videos in a single day, YouTube will shut you down, all right? And if you haven't tested your accounts and you go through and you do a run, and let's say you've gone through and you've posted to 5 accounts, and then you get a failure and you want to go back and rerun that stuff, those first 5 accounts, you're going to have used up part of that quota. Everybody get what I'm saying? All right. So how much is okay and how much is too much? Well, like I said, you're likely to get banned with 40 to 50 videos a day. So is it okay to do 25? Maybe. I've done 25 without any problems. But accounts are cheap, typically 25 cents a piece. So why not use more accounts and stress them less? Don't worry, we'll get to the number in a minute. How many accounts can I put on a single proxy? I believe that you're safe with 2. I've actually done 3 on a single IP. If you're going to use this method, I would spread the accounts out, spread the IPs out. You know, don't hit the same IP 3 times in a row. Here's what I recommend you start with. Start with 10 or 20 proxies, private from Squid Proxies, okay? If you sign up by subscription, they will keep your same proxies for you month after month until you ask for a change. Something I would not do unless I was constantly losing accounts on a particular IP. Get yourself 20 YouTube accounts, single PVA verified without Google Plus enabled. If the Google Plus is enabled, all of your videos will be published there as well, and you don't want to do this. It will not help us. It's going to hurt you. The number. The daily quota I recommend is 15 to stay under the radar, okay? And I recommend a posting rate of 5. This does not sound like much, but consider. If you do 20 accounts times 5 posts times 3 runs, and the 3 runs can be done one after another just by lining up your YouTube account list 3 times, right? You're poking 300. Need to poke more than 300? Buy more accounts. Remember, those 20 accounts only cost you $5. Can you be more aggressive? Yes. Initially, you'll simply lose more accounts, but in the long run, you can be aggressive enough to hurt the group as a whole. Let us not kill the goose that laid the golden egg. All right, the next thing we do is we gather our results. The system has automatic rank checking built in and is most effective with an attached CAPTCHA account. In the event you have an external tracking system like Rank Tracker Pro, you can choose that option that skips testing, and this will complete your initial run faster. That option is in 2.4. Save these results. I recommend moving all of your files from the export directory to an archive directory. This will preserve your data and avoid the system testing ranking results it already has, because if you do a run and then it tests and then you do another run and you haven't moved those, it's going to go back and test those original videos. All right? Then we delete the poking videos. Then we delete the poking videos. Then we delete the poking videos. Can anybody tell me what we're supposed to do next? We delete the poking videos. We do not use them to build link wheels or channels or anything else. We delete them as soon as we can. These videos are the single biggest footprint of what we are doing. In the near future, I'll be adding terms of service to the buyers of Buddy VIP, which we will reserve the right to refund and cancel the license of anyone who is viewed as endangering the goose for the rest of us. Everybody get that? Okay. All it takes is a few jerk-offs, and this is going to become a big issue. Now, a lot of people showed up wanting to hear some strategy, and you've heard a lot of strategy. I'm gonna tell you that in the back of the manual that I just went over, I've given you 4 strategies in the local marketing area arena. You can read them on your own, but I do want to read this one piece to you. Buddy VIP is a tool for immediate ranking opportunities. It is not just the fastest I've ever seen. It's the only tool I've ever seen that delivers these results in this time frame. What you purchased is a tool with a dedicated team behind it to make it the best it can be. At the time of this writing, which is about 20 days from its initial release, there have been 13 versions of this software. What you did not purchase is a coaching program. You may from time to time, we may from time to time hold events to help our customers, and at some point we may offer a coaching program that goes into the nuances of different uses for the tool. As an example, this tool can find you local ranking opportunities, but is not a course or a coaching program on running a local lead gen business. This tool has helped people find opportunities in the world of CPA offers, but is not a substitute for a good CPA training. And the tool centers around video, but is not a substitute for an education on creating videos that convert. This tool will show you where the money is, but it's up to you to go and get it. Everybody get that? Great. Anybody else have anything they would like to interject at this point?
You know, I think, guys, the number one thing you need to do is just get out there and test. Test and try and try and test. You know, find out what doesn't work. And like Thomas Edison, he tried a whole bunch of times to figure out the light bulb. Just get out there and just test. Go out there, poke niches. Go out there, stream videos. Go out there, try different techniques. Don't trust what we say. Go out there and confirm it with your own testing. That's the best advice I can give you guys today.
It's the truth. I mean, it's absolutely the truth. Most of the stuff you try isn't going to work. So where does that leave you, right? It's always going to be, you know, the one here and one there that's going to bring you huge results after going through lots of failures. So just absolutely keep going. That's definitely the message there, is don't give up and keep going. Because you're gonna fail a lot more than you're gonna succeed. So you just got to keep failing, you know, until you succeed.
Yeah, I second that one. You know, don't give up at all. There will be times that you fail, and there will be many no's that you get. You know, especially when you go out to clients and you're presenting this type of stuff to them, they may very well say no. Be open to that rejection, because there will be a yes. And so just continue to work hard, continue to test, do your own testing. You know, I always tell people on my webinars, don't be a caboose, be a train engine. You know, don't just connect and ride on the curtails of everyone else. Get in there in front and do the work yourself, because it pays off the best.
I want to, and I would second all of that, because, you know, even in that, people don't treat this as a business very often, and it's only when you start treating it as a business that you start making money. All right, when you start taking a look at what works and what doesn't, and following something through to the end. If you were opening up a pizza parlor, you wouldn't change directions every 15 minutes. And I'm going to tell you this story about a kid named Aaron. He's in our group, and Aaron came to me a couple of times. He's a college kid, married. He had one child, another one on the way, and he does what he can to keep from paying for things with cash. So he wants to trade labor. You know, I'll do this or I'll do that to get your software. So the first time he came to me, I said yes, and he came to me a second time. He wanted the upgrade to Buddy Enterprise, and he says, I got this great information, and I'll give it to you for the for the $50 upgrade. And I'm like, okay, what's your information? And he gave it to me, and I didn't think it was very good information at all, to tell you the truth. But then he tells me, he says, my wife is due with our second child on Monday. Okay, so he's pulled at the heartstrings, and I gave it to him, right? And he was going to check back with me, and I get a call from him 2 weeks later, and he says, I'm sorry I didn't get back to you. He says, I've had a big fight with my wife because I'm spending all of this money on IM, and I haven't made anything. Now listen to this carefully. This is my advice to him. I said, Aaron, the truth of the matter is that you already have everything you need to make money. I says, when somebody sends you something in your email and they say, you know, I can increase your conversions 453%, I says, I have a little tool right here where I can increase your conversions by 10,000%, because 10,000 times 0 is still 0. What you need to do, and some of these tools may help, right? But what you need to do is you need to take what you already have and go turn it into money. I got a very pleasant call about a week ago, and he said, Jeff, he says, I took your advice, and let me tell you what, 2 weeks ago, I quit my job. He says, I'm not getting rich. We're just scraping by on what I'm making, but I am doing this full time. And then he bought Buddy VIP, and he made a post. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up your market if you're listening, Aaron. But I will tell you that in a market where I know, not I think, but I know there's money, in a market where the leads sell for $17 to $40 in his area, he found 200 ranking opportunities with buyer keywords in his first 24 hours. But I promise you, you will not find any opportunities if you don't put it to work. So stop chasing the shiny objects. Be willing to put in the effort. Find it. He's not got to go create videos for all of this. And he's got to upload those videos, and then he's got to go sign up clients to buy these leads. You know, but he's taken a major step forward. And it isn't anything that everybody on this call couldn't do. Anybody else?
Just real quick, this is Mark. Once you find that open market, that niche that you're able to bust into, then you can throw the kitchen sink at it. Then you can go ahead and try to, you know, monetize the crap out of it. But there's different approaches to what we're doing here. One of them is, I wanted to share a really quick mistake that I made back from the blogging and ping days and all that. We were throwing up sites. We would download keyword lists from WordTracker. There were 20, 30, 40,000 keywords from one seed, and then we would use SEO 10, SEO 11, Smart Page Generator, and those kind of tools to throw up these websites that had thousands of pages on there. And we were making tons and tons of money, and I mean thousands per day. This is back in the heyday when it was very easy to do, off of AdSense. And we would get the checks delivered to the door. And the mistake we made back then, I just want to plant a seed in your head. The mistake we made back then is we didn't build lists. Yet we had tens of thousands of people coming through all these different sites, and we never built lists. So there's a few approaches you can do. You can go for the quick hit, make that money, and don't worry about building a list. You could drive people to a funnel, capture the lead, and then offer them something in your autoresponder. Or, you know, go ahead and create your own product and keep 100%. But at the end of the day, I like working. I was mentioning to Jeff on a private one-on-one that, you know, my wife and I do the local thing because of how much easier it is to get one person to pay us a certain percentage down and then X amount per month. If I wanted to get a recurring income off of an affiliate product, I'd have to sell 25 copies every month to earn that same $500 that I can get one, and that's on the low end, local client to pay $497 per month. So it's just the approach that you use. You know, how much money do you want to make? Figure out your yearly goal, then divide that by 365 days, and then factor that into what it takes to make that every day. If your goal is to make $6,000 a month, then you know you have to do $200 a day. 200 times 30 days is 6,000. So put the effort in to reach that goal. Shoot for 10,000, because if you miss your mark, you'll still make 3, 4, or 5,000, and you'll be closer to 6,000 than if you did nothing.
I saw a similar approach that I found interesting, because most marketers who come in, they're looking for that one website that's going to pay them $200 a day, right? And this is going to be how they're going to retire. And there's a marketer, I'm forgetting his, I think he was called the marketing bully. I'm sure you know him, Mark. And his basic approach was this: rather than shooting for the big number, right, that was going to take care of everything from a site, he broke all of his bills up. And so he said, how much is my electric bill? Mm-hmm. And then he did a business and he built it up where it would reliably every month pay his electric bill. Mm-hmm. So he eliminates his electric bill, then he eliminates his car payment, then he eliminates his house payment, then he goes through and he gets rid of these one at a time. So he saw the progress as he's going along, and of course his quality of life was getting better right along with it. Yes, you know, if you're going to do this for yourself, you need to make, I kid you not, you need to make 6 figures a year plus. If your goal is not to make over 6 figures a year, go get a real job. Don't go into any business that you don't plan on making at least 6 figures a year. All right? Because you don't have the benefits, you have all of the headaches. Okay? Most of us that are entrepreneurs because we're unemployable. I think that's one of the basic requirements. You know, you have to be somebody who can't do the 9 to 5.
Well, it's like they say, you treat it like a business, it'll pay you like a business. If you treat it like a hobby, it's going to pay you like a hobby.
That's a great maxim. Somebody asked the question, Simon, they're saying, Browsio, is this a yearly price or a one-time price? Got confused, and how many installs are allowed?
Oh, it's a yearly price. There's a lot of support, a lot of updates, a lot of things that go into it. So yeah, that's the yearly price. About the installs, if you've got the version over there, the solo version without the outsourcers, you can install it on more than one computer. You can install it on up to 3 computers, but you will have an issue with the outsourcer. But that's something that is only if you're using that outsourcer module, managing your outsourcers with it.
Let me, for the people who aren't familiar with Browsio, let me give you my my 60-second explanation of Browsio. Browsio has grown so much and has so much more to it than when Simon and I originally discussed it. The core feature of Browsio that blows me away again and again is this. It encapsulates the DNA of your account, all the cookies, etc. So the way I like to explain it is this. If you have a laptop that you use at home and you sign into Facebook and Google and whatnot on a regular basis, and you take that laptop across country and you go to sign into those accounts, right, you have no issue at all. All right? They see that you're at a different IP, but they also see that you have all of the DNA that you're supposed to have for that account. And so they don't make any hay about it. If you took that same laptop and while you're across country, you cleaned all your cookies, right, then they're going to come back and they're going to ask you for verification. What Browsio does is it takes all the DNA for an account and it encapsulates it in a particular instance of a browser, right? No big deal. But you could have 200 of these, right? So an entire set in each one of these encapsulations, and you go in and it looks at it like that's the only account there. Now show me another way that you can turn around and be logged in to 5 or 10 different Facebook accounts at the same time. The same is true of Google. This is part of the power of Browsio, but it is the part that I absolutely love.
Yeah, that's that was the original. That's the basis of Browsio, is being able to literally log in and just use multiple Facebook accounts at the same time, Google Plus accounts, YouTube accounts, just upvoting here and, liking and sharing and getting, comments a little bit further up there and liking a comment and, having little groupies just to sort of really manipulate the social media sites, Facebook, and, so that's the point, is having access to like a real browser, unlimited Facebook accounts at the same time. So each tab is a new proxy, new cookies, new everything. Yeah.
And as Joe Glickman in Facebook points out, that with a single click, it will connect you to any of your YouTube accounts using the appropriate IP. But that's true of all of your Web 2.0 accounts. So you know how you have those accounts, you paid to get them created, or you created them with Buddy Enterprise or whatever it is you're using, and you haven't touched them in a while, right? And if you don't touch them for too long, then they vanish. And with this, you can literally go through with your mouse and just open these accounts up one after another. Yeah. Somebody's asking, could RoboForm be integrated into Browsio? I'm not sure what the advantage of that would be.
We've got our own custom RoboForm already integrated.
Yeah, it manages all of your passwords. You don't have to remember any of it. You just have to put it in, and now you don't even have to type it in, because you can import that stuff in bulk.
Yeah, yeah.
Somebody says, can Browsio work in personas? Absolutely.
Can it what?
It says, can Browsio work in personas?
Yeah,
so,
that's the whole, yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole point. So you can go in and you can click that stuff and go put your, put your articles or your picture or whatever it is on the accounts,
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't get any easier than that. And it's just an absolute, and by the way, folks, I've never taken a commission on Browsio and not taking one today. I'm telling you, it is one of the most absolutely amazing pieces of software I've seen in IM. One of the most useful pieces of software in IM.
Well, I'm speechless. But I do use it every day, and a lot of everyone who, I get people telling me I'd gladly pay $1,500 for it. Just someone literally yesterday did, once they get into it and see all of the different features. But that was literally said by someone to me yesterday while I was discussing something. He said, maybe we should do this and that. And I said, well, that's already in there. And if you use the Facebook researcher to find the most viral images, you've got that there, which is going to just spit out the best content for you to share within the social network. So it does all of that as well. And it could just, it covers so many different facets. So sometimes
Simon in his own right. Simon in his own right is quite the SEO guy. And he's demonstrated some things to me that he's done with personas that he's created for Facebook and whatnot that is just absolutely amazing. So he's got some great training to go along with it. If I had a complaint about it, is that I do not have the time to keep up with all of the new features that he keeps adding in. And I'm absolutely jealous of the account importer that he's created. That was some very slick programming. I never got a chance to tell you that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's got a great programmer, that's for sure. High-level army guy, actually.
Hey, Jeff,
somebody said,
I apologize.
Go ahead.
Are you scanning the questions from the Q&A box from the GoTo? Or is that where these questions are
I was actually looking at the questions in the Facebook. What do we have? What do we have in the GoTo?
We have a few for Simon. By the way, Holly is gone and Tim are gone, just so that you guys are aware, everybody on the call. And we have stuff like, let me get to Simon's questions. Browsio, is this a yearly price or a one-time price? Got confused.
No,
and how many
it's a
installs are
yearly
allowed?
price. It's a yearly price, and it's currently, we have it so that you can use it on up to 2 different computers, but it's a yearly price, yes.
Okay, there's a few more in there. Can you see them, Jeff? Or I don't want to go through all these. I wanted you to scan them.
I'm just now scrolling down through.
Let me see.
I'll leave it at your discretion which ones you want to address, because some of these have been addressed already. I just want to make sure that we don't lose anybody who might be interested in getting live stream or Browsio and they don't get their question answered. I just want to make sure we addressed everything. And while Jeff is scanning that, I need to share something really quick for those that are still on the call. And I hope Frank doesn't get offended, Frank. But I met Frank a few years ago, and we were supposed to work together, and then Frank became ill, and we kind of lost touch with each other. Then I got really sick 2 years ago with a tumor. And I actually just had surgery last month to remove this tumor that was basically burrowing through my temporal bone and was going to kill me. The reason that I'm sharing this with you guys and not trying to offend Frank and sharing the fact that he had gotten ill was that I don't know about Frank, but I can only assume. But with me, had I not built the businesses that we had been building, the recurring income with offline businesses, the affiliate marketing, building a portfolio of over 6,000 domains and being able to go to Domain Fest and flip domains and websites and mobile apps and doing all the things that we do online. For those 2 years, the last 2 years were a severe depression for me because the insurance refused to pay for my surgery. I ended up having to sue the insurance, winning, and then being able to get the surgery. But I literally thought my life was over when I had a doctor in Mexico and a doctor here tell me everything word for word. And the reason I'm sharing this with you guys is to let you guys know that this enabled me to literally be able to step away from this. And I don't want to say have it on autopilot because we do have project managers, but had I had a job, a 9-to-5, there's no way they would have allowed me to take 2 years off while I dealt with this situation. There's just no way. I would have lost my job. I would have lost my insurance benefits. and been done with. But thank God I was able to leverage this information. Thank God I was able to meet these people that I've met in the IM world, and Frank Thomases and the Jeffrey Evans and the Michaels and the Simons. You guys, please take this stuff serious, because you can definitely replace your full-time income and beyond. It's what you put into it. You know, you plant the seeds, you harvest those same amount of seeds, and before you know it, you'll be in a position where you can walk away. That's when you truly know that you're successful, when you've built assets. It's like, what was that saying that somebody said? I don't want to be rich. I want to be wealthy. I don't want to be Kobe Bryant. I want to be the guy that signs his checks. You understand? Have assets that you can monetize, because had it been any other way, my wife had to take over. And I'll be honest with you, I'm getting emotional thinking about it. It's all been on her shoulders. But thank God she's been with me side by side through all these years that I've worked for Jay Abraham and Ryan Dyson, all these other folks, that names that you guys would know. I've been the guy that nobody knew about in the background. And yet for the last 2 years, fighting for my life. But thank God I was able to come home and see things were still happening here and there. Now, I'm not balling out of control by no means, because a lot of the things have fallen off over the last 2 years. I didn't take care of my crops. I got to start planting seeds again and growing everything. But the pressures of typical losing a job or having to go to work and dealing with the health situation, I didn't have to go through, thank God. So I just wanted to point that out to you guys. Take this stuff serious. Learn everything you can. Get yourself a coach or mentor. Apply, implement, take massive action. Don't just take action. Take massive action.
You know what? That is so powerful what you just shared. Thank you for sharing that with us all. That touches my heart that you went through that trouble. I did not know that myself. You said something in there that was really powerful at the very end. You said about planting your crops, and it just brought something to my mind. One other little tidbit I'd like to give is whenever I'm doing my marketing, whenever I'm planning my marketing, just like you were saying, planning ahead, I plan for planting my crops like a farmer for next season's crops. Mm-hmm. So if in the wintertime, I'm planning for summer. In the summertime, I'm planning for winter. If you're doing local niches, if you're planning to do, say, landscaping, tree removal, plan for the summer months. Start marketing in the winter. In the summer, start planning for the winter months. And the same thing with your marketing. Think of something with seasons. If you're going for Black Friday, to capitalize on Black Friday or Thanksgiving or the holidays, plan ahead. Don't wait for the week before, because you're not going to be able to do it. And also for taking care of yourself, your health, and your business, taking control of it. A couple of years ago, I had it was my 9th open heart surgery, and I was working for someone else, and I couldn't take off much time, but for the time, they actually gave me maternity leave. That's the only time that they had off. So as a guy, I was the only guy in the whole office that got to go on maternity leave for 8 weeks to recover. Wow. But you're absolutely right. The benefit of working for yourself, of having your own business, and being able to be your own boss and make your own money and work when you want to work. Now, the truth is here, a lot of times people will paint, people working for themselves as being on a beach. I probably put in 16-hour days, and I know the rest of the guys in here put in 16-hour days. It's a lot of work. It's not easy, but it pays off big. So my thing to you is here, plant your crops, prepare for next season, this season, not a week before. And if you want to truly be your own boss, you want to truly work for yourself, you can totally do it. But in order to really succeed, you need to be your own entrepreneur. Run your own business.
Let me ask you guys a question really quick, and not to the panelists, but to the audience. Well, maybe the panelists, I don't know. I always tell my students this. If you were your own employee, would you fire yourself with regards to your work ethic? A lot of folks say they want to, a lot of folks say they want to work for themselves, but then they don't put that time into it. And so I always say, there's times when I'm being lazy, and I would get fired today if I was actually working for somebody, because there's just days when I just don't want to do nothing. A few years ago, when my son got a scholarship to Kansas for football, again, the business was able to bless me to take 3 months straight off and go to Kansas with him and stay there during, while he played his first few months of college football, and I didn't have to worry about anything. I may have done 1 or 2 launches from there just to my list about coaching and the program, but it enabled us to do this thing. And so at the end of the day, think about that. If you were your own boss, would you fire yourself? Where's your work ethic at?
You know, we had this thing called the 4-hour work week, and I don't know anybody that works a 4-hour work week. So I have a little thing where I turn it on its side, right? My goal is to not spend more than 4 hours any week doing something I don't want to do. So I try to pick things I can be passionate about. I'm passionate about working with my customers. I'm passionate about the interaction with other people. But there are some things that I have to do that, you know, I'm just not thrilled with. And I try to keep those down to 4 hours a week.
You know, a few years ago, I had a conversation with Sherman Hughes. Some of you guys may know him from the Vid Payment Group. And he had tweeted it was one of the most important conversations he had ever had for that year. And it was, he was working on all these projects. One of them was a restaurant project and these other projects that were telling him, we'll pay you once, you know, things get going. It's like a profit sharing type of thing. We'll pay you once this happens, once that happens. And I told him, and everybody, this applies to me too, stop working on things that are not paying you now. If it's not putting money in your pocket, then take away from that activity and apply it to your business. Because as Jeff could tell you, Jeff, me and my wife, we go to bed, 4 or 5 in the morning that we've been talking to you, and then we get up at 8, 10 in the morning. So we're sleeping 4 or 6, maybe 8 hours when we're lucky, but usually 4 to 5 hours is what we sleep, and we're up the rest of the day. Is it 9 to 5 type of work? No. It's you know, it's slowly, you know, working. It's not stressful. It's just applying ourselves. But at the end of the day, treat it like a business so it'll pay you like a business.
I hope you folks that have come tonight and stuck with us, I hope you have you've learned a thing or two here. We do have something from Ray the Video Guy. He didn't make it, but he gave us a freebie for you. He creates local videos, and there is a set of them that he authorized me to give away to everybody who came. And so I'm going to try to put this link in, and you can just go there with this link and download it directly. Let's be respectful of him, not share it out with the rest of the world. Let's see here.
Hey guys, I got a Joseph Y is saying that the Jeff 50 discount is not working. Is that for Browsio, I believe it is?
Yes.
Can somebody double check? If somebody already bought it using the Jeff 50 discount, can you post here and let us know that it is working or not?
Yeah, I actually just looked myself here and it's working.
Okay. So
Just
Frank,
get them to try it again.
Joseph Y, can you try it again, please? That was Frank. He said he verified it.
Yeah, it takes $50 off.
Oh, he's actually using the wrong product. No, for Livestream Genius, you have to use, it's right here on the screen. You have to use the other discount code, which is
Jeff DIS.
Yes, Jeff DIS. It's right at the top of your screen.
Yeah. I put the link in there. You're going to have to pass it on because I can't send it to all.
Okay, I see it.
The download link that's got the 204 timestamp.
204. Oh yeah, it's showing up here. 1104.
Okay, 1104 where you are.
Yeah. Got it. I was looking for 2 actually.
There's absolutely no guarantee once we pass the 2 o'clock hour that anything I say will make sense.
Okay, I'm going to send this to all
Very good.
via the chat. And that is what from Ray, the video guy?
That's from Ray the Video Guy, and it will give you, I think it's about a half a dozen videos in different local niches.
Okay, that is about to go out to entire audience. There, it's gone.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Okay, last check for questions before we close this up. I want to thank our panelists who've come in and been so generous with their time and their knowledge. I appreciate it. I'm humbled by your presence and the fact that you were able to be here for a couple of hours.
Well, thanks for having us, and thanks for putting this together. It was honestly, it's not to sound cliche, but it was a real honor to be with these amazing panelists and Jeff. Honestly, let me tell the story real quick, if you don't mind, Jeff. When my wife first bought the product, Buddy VIP, she couldn't get it to work, and so we tend to be patient. We don't complain. We kind of just roll with the punches. And long story short, we ended up having to get with Jeff via Skype, who was more than gracious to give his time, doesn't get paid for. A lot of people don't know the financials of the product, but he's not making that much money on Buddy VIP by the time you factor in programming costs and what have you, support. He makes himself readily available. Anyways, we tried it, and we tried everything that we could think of, and Jeff jokingly said, well, I guess you're going to be my first refund. And I knowing my wife, who is asleep right now, and knowing how the potential of the products, I said, oh, hell no, you're not. You're not refunding this thing. We're going to make it work. If I got to pull out 3, 4, 5 other laptops in the house. So we ended up hijacking our 11-year-old's laptop, and she ended up hijacking another one that was my laptop. So she has it running on those 2 laptops. But at the end of the day, that's the kind of person Jeff is. He was joking with me, and he said, look, if it doesn't work, you get your money back. But I was like, no, this isn't that simple. You're not going to refund me, buddy. We're going to make this work. I believe you've had one person refund, right? And that person actually was after you had provided us support. But, it's just like what Holly said. If you guys don't want to use Livestream Genius, don't use it. Leave the money on the table for the rest of us. If you don't want to use Browsio, don't use it. Leave the money on the table for the rest of us. And most certainly, if you don't want to use Buddy VIP, leave the money for the rest of us. Because honestly, it's like gold prospecting. And, I don't mean to offend, with all due respect. When people talk about secrets, it kind of rubs me the wrong way. Because at the end of the day, out of 100 people, statistically speaking, only 3 to 7% may ever apply it, let alone apply it aggressively. So I don't really believe in holding back, quote unquote, secrets, if you will. But in gold prospecting, they always talk about what's the secret to mining gold. What's the secret to this? What's the secret to that? And we actually are part of a gold club. We've been out there. We found gold in the river, and we found gold in the desert. My point is this. The only quote unquote secret to finding gold is to move a lot of dirt. The more dirt you move, the more chances you have of finding gold. The more lines you have in the ocean or in the lake, the more chances you have of catching a fish. So the more of this that you do, the more chances you have of succeeding. It's like the Pareto principle. 80% of what you do is going to fail, but those 20% of efforts are going to be the big winners.
I'd have to agree. Everything is in the doing. And to those people who, if there's something that isn't working for you, right, but you can get the job done, use it. Don't use stumbling blocks as an excuse to not move forward. That is the surest path I know of to failure. The only way to fail is to not do it.
Yeah, I think an important point too is you never stop learning, you never stop trying, you never stop doing. Like even when I'm writing software, like I'm always doing a lot of SEO. I'm still working with clients and things like that. I've got my own videos out there and all that. But I'm still trying different things. And Michael, I know Michael is the same, and I bet you all that you guys are the same way. You just never stop trying. You never stop learning. You never stop pushing things to the envelope. You're always trying to see what works and what doesn't. And that really is the pinnacle of success. Is, to me, success isn't money in the bank. It's I'm really happy with what I do. Mark, I feel for you, man. I know what exactly everything you just said, and it's, you know, I've had the same thing happen to me, and if it wasn't for the fact I had my business, I'd probably be talking to you guys from the other side right now. So, so I'm grateful. I'm grateful beyond belief that I have what I have. That my SEO business is there, my video marketing business is there. I work with clients. I'm challenged by my customers from Livestream Genius. I love it because they're always asking for more, and I love to try to give it. So, you know, just that's what it is. You just got to get out there and just try. You know?
Yeah, don't be afraid to fail. Get the failures out of the way fast. Break this. Excuse my language. I'm sorry if I offend anybody with what I'm about to say, but break this shit. Break it. You know, put it through its paces, because Jeff and Frank and Mike, everybody that has this software out there, that these different programs, they need to know. So put it through its paces. Don't be afraid to break anything, because the worst comes to worst, shut down, reboot, relaunch the program. But get the failures out of the way. You know, document, keep track, and say, okay, this is what I did to rank this video in this niche. This is what I did to rank this video in this niche. This is what I did to rank this video in this niche. Oh, what are the similarities? Okay, so let me apply this to this, apply this to that. And give your videos time. People freak out because the videos disappear. Give it time to season. If you saw that you poked, you got in, take it down, properly optimize your video and throw it back up there. Maybe throw a little bit of boosting to it, a little social signals, a little backlinks, a little, you know, shares, likes, subs, and what have you. But at the end of the day, if you're not putting it out, you're not trying it, you're never going to know. Don't just go by what we say. You apply it. If you go to YouTube, and the reason I say YouTube, and you look up Mark Ress, you'll hear folks like Howie Schwartz and Dr. Michael Lee and different people talk about me, that I'm the guy that's in the trenches testing everything that these IMers tell you they're doing that's working. And then I go back to them and report, that's a bunch of bull, because I tried it in this many niches. I tried it in this markets. Oh, you know what? That did work. That did work. But I actually did it this way. I did it that way. You can see the videos where they tell you that I'm the guy that'll tell you what's really what I'm doing today. I'm not the guy that's going to sell you something that I've been using for the past 2 years, and it's lost its flavor, its power, its usefulness. So now I want to make money off selling you as something that's not going to work. You know, as we were talking, you know, there's a course about this out there, about the whole poking thing, and it's priced fairly high today. When it first launched, it wasn't that much, but it was still kind of up there. But yet, here you have a guy that's put his time and efforts and resources into a software that does everything that you need to do, plus, and then he's still adding to it, and then it's like compounding interest. Add in Livestream Genius and the other tools, Browsio and what have you, and you've got something that's unstoppable right now. And I feel it's going to be unstoppable for a long time, because people keep saying video's the future, video's the future. No, it's here now, but it's here to stay. So leverage these tools. Did I scare everybody off?
Thinking back to that, Frank, I keep thinking back to that Edison reference, and I remember that he found it was approximately 5,000 ways to not invent the light bulb before he found the way to invent it.
Yeah, you know, the funny thing is, a lot of people don't realize that he didn't invent the light bulb for the light bulb's sake. He believed in electric companies, and he's trying to get people to realize that electric companies were the future, and everybody was ignoring him. So he was looking for a very visual way to endorse his electric companies, and light at night was it. So that was it. He went out searching for the right way to make the light bulb, and it did. It was the fuel that fed the fire to the electric companies. So it's a very interesting story.
And you know what, a lot of people,
it's not just one short of success.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the other thing. I'm sorry, go ahead, Mark.
What a lot of people don't know also is that he was starving and having to steal food just to survive, but he was staying up in the attic of that one place where he was doing his work with his partner. I mean, this guy literally was hurting.
Yeah. Yeah, Thomas Edison actually went broke a few times in his career. He tried things. He tried mining, like strip mining, and it was a total bust. He said to his partner at the end, he laughed and he said, "My goodness, it was, you know, like we're broke, but it was fun. It was still fun along the way, you know." So, and I've always liked that attitude that he exuded. The fact that, you know, hey, win or fail, we're just going to have a good time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love Thomas Edison. I think actually in one of his things that I was intrigued about when I was reading it was he once set up a number of scales underneath patients that were dying of cancer. He was convinced that he could catch the soul leaving the body.
Yeah,
It was
weigh the
just
soul.
interesting.
Weigh the soul. Yeah.
Yeah, to weigh it, to weigh the soul, to weigh it, to see how much if the body, weight changed, which was so neat. He went above and beyond, in a certain sense. He did poking, he poked around to find, ways to work in the world. And that's just, again, encourage everybody. Continue to try. Don't give up. Keep working hard and try these different tools. I got a message, actually, from one of my guys yesterday who bought, from one of these webinars, and he said, I'm really disappointed. This guy ranked his videos, and now they're down on page 2. And I thought your software was going to be the end all, and I said, it's just one part. It's really just one part. I said, you need to go in, and there is no end all. If I had the end all, I'd be a multimillionaire. This is one part of it. This is part of the suit. This is part of the business. It's a cog in the wheel, and you need to make sure that you have all of your ducks in a line so, it can all work together. But there is no end all. You got to keep poking, keep working, keep streaming. You know what I'm saying?
I got to share this with everybody. Grant C, I don't know if he wants me to say his whole name, but Grant C, and I do know how to pronounce it. I just don't know if he wants me to put it out there. He said, I already own all of this fabulous software, and I was already familiar with the panelists. All I can say is this is like watching the all-star game of video marketing. Thank you,
Thanks
sir.
Very complimentary.
Hey, we're just guys like you. We're just guys like you, and we're just trying really hard to, we're growing our businesses too. We're always working on our businesses. Maybe we're
A little more hungry.
Yeah, a little more hungry. The thing is, even though you've had a year of success, or like I've been at this now for 8 years, and I've had several years of success, and it's still fun. It's still a blast, and it's the best ride I've ever jumped onto. I think Jeff, you had said that becoming an entrepreneur makes us unemployable, and that is so true.
Oh, yeah. In Spanish, they call it ganas. Tienes que tener las ganas. You have to have the desire. And that's the one thing that I'll quote Jada Pinkett Smith. We cannot put that in your belly. We cannot put that fire in your belly. It has to come from within you. You have to be hungry, more hungry. You have to want this more than you want air. If I was to take any one of you and shove your head down in the water, you would fight me to breathe. You would hit, you would kick, you would do whatever you got to do to get from under that water so you could breathe. Well, that's how you got to want this. Saying it with your mouth doesn't mean nothing. It's got to be from within your gut, your belly, the fire, the ganas to succeed. And it's true that Frank said success is different to all of us. For me, it's a lifestyle. It's a certain type of lifestyle, not about balling out of control, not about putting in a $100,000 swimming pool or rolling around in our E500 Mercedes or anything like that. That's not why we do this. Those are I never said I'd sell out to buy a luxury car. I always had my cars with lowriders and airbags. Anybody that knows me knows that. I'm an old school lowrider. What I realized, though, is that a lot of people didn't take us serious when I roll up in the Yukon with 8 TVs and bumping system, or in my little Scion with airbags and hit switches. They didn't take me serious. So I didn't sell out. I bought in when I got the Mercedes, because then they started looking at you with respect. But it wasn't for me, because I don't believe in spending money like that. I believe in helping others out. So at the end of the day, it was the desire, the fire, the ganas to make this happen. And, you got these people that are willing to give you this time for free. Most of these other IMers, these so-called gurus, will charge you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars for their weak BS.
Yeah, well, we actually, I think everybody on the call, we actually enjoy it. To me, business itself is a game. SEO was always a game, right? It was always about always about figuring out how to beat it. What's that edge? What's the little thing I can do that will put me ahead of the rest of the pack in whatever it is I'm doing? More important to me when I was younger than it is now, in terms of the SEO stuff, because I found other stuff to be fun. Always enjoyed teaching, always enjoyed sharing. And that's, it's true probably 97% of the time, there are those days that, I have my moods like everybody else, but I've often wondered this, what drives me, because it isn't money. I've already been in the ridiculous money category, and getting back to that hasn't been overly important, right?
Right.
And then I said, well, is it fear? Because I haven't worked for anybody else. I left NYPD in 1994. That's the last time I had a legitimate job.
I'm going on 20 years myself, Jeff, and when my mom was seeing me stress out at times throughout the years, my mom would say, well, why don't you just go out and get a job? I could never go back and get a job. I tell my mom, I'd rather die, Mom. It's being at a place 9 to 5 kills me. It kills me because I feel there's so much more I can do. This lady just shared with us, I'm suffering with cancer, but I refuse to give up. Money is really a challenge for me right now, but I keep trying. Claudette, everybody's given away a freebie on this call, or they've offered a discount or what have you, except for me and a couple people left, Holly and Tim. Claudette, I want you to reach out to me personally. This is Mark Ress. Do me a favor. Send me your email address. I'm going to actually reach out to you or call you. So I'm going to work with you. I want to help you because, as Frank mentioned, it's really emotional for us to go through these things and not want to help a brother or sister who's in a situation like that. Now, I'm not going to guarantee you any money because I'm not doing the work for you. I'm just going to work with you a little bit and try to get you on the right path to help you try to make something happen for yourself. So give me your email address, or I'll shoot you mine with my phone number, and I'm going to work with you. That's going to be my contribution to this call above and beyond everything else that we've shared. Because at the end of the day, God forbid I die tomorrow, I want to leave a legacy behind. And I want people to know that I always was a giver and not just a taker. Every time a Frank Thomas or a Jeff Evans or a Mike, they put out these software tools, everybody thinks they make so much money. And they don't make as much money as you guys think. As you heard Jeff talk about, how many versions of this software, Jeff, have you updated now?
13, I think.
And did you get paid every time you updated the software? No, stop laughing. I'm being for real. I'm being serious. Did you get paid?
No.
Okay.
No, of course not.
And how many personal Skype calls have you taken for support to help people get Buddy VIP working?
30.
How many times did you get paid out of those 30 calls?
0.
How many emails have you answered for support? How many Facebook PMs have you answered? I know my wife's in there a lot answering. How many of those did you get paid for?
We don't.
Then what the hell are you doing all this for, man? I'm being real. Why do you do this crap? Let me make this point. When you can make so much more money doing it for yourself, why do you do this?
I enjoy it. Listen, I discovered that this is just a little bit of a personal story, and I'm not going to go into the whole thing, but I spent 3 years in the Philippines, and in the late 90s, I hit a gold rush, all right? The gold rush of the Y2K gold rush. I owned a software engineering firm, and I hit the gold rush. And when I got to the Philippines, I got involved with Rotary. For those people who don't know, it's a civic organization, and it was really an opportunity to give back. And I really learned to enjoy that. Well, when I came to Pattaya, I went to a Rotary Club meeting I could find, and a real nice gentleman and whatnot, but they all spoke German, and I don't speak German. And in this IM situation with some of these people who are struggling, some of these people who kind of need to be pointed in the right direction, who need to get off of the roller coaster, and somebody to say, you know, I own an outsourcing firm, so I get to see things from 30,000 feet. I get to see what works and what doesn't. And so I really enjoy kind of pushing people in the right direction. But you're right. I mean, the other day I answered, and this is why we changed our support system. I spent the day answering over 60 support tickets. Now, there has got to be a better way. So it's not all pleasure, but the one-on-one working with people, especially people who listen, people who take action. I've told this story to Michael and Frank. There's kind of a joke between us about it, but I have my own Frank, and Frank is a doer. Frank's probably on the call right now. Frank is a doer, and so when I have something I want to test out, I pass it to Frank, and Frank does it. Everybody needs a Frank, right? When Frank came to me, and he was first a customer. He wasn't in a position to spend a lot of money, and he bought this package. It was $37 a month. But I have no qualms about I have a conversation with Frank at least, I think, every day. Because whatever it is, Frank is taking action, Frank is making it happen, Frank is working for a better life for he and his wife. And so I derive a lot of satisfaction out of that.
I believe the other day when we talked about, me and Jeff, we talked a little bit, I mentioned that to you, or I think it was I posted this, or read it posted by Jan, I don't remember. We're both, you know, passionate about this group and the success of its members. But people need accountability partners. Not only do they need a mentor or a coach, but they need an accountability partner to make sure they're doing everything they need to do. They don't realize the power of a mastermind and an accountability partner and a mentor and a coach. You know, the mentor or the coach is to guide you through the area so you don't fall and scrape your knees, or don't fall and scrape your knees as much, because sometimes we need to go through the pain so that we can avoid the thorns and the splinters. You got to have a mentor and a coach for that. You have to have a mastermind so that you can keep learning and growing. You have to have your accountability partner to hold you accountable. And, you know, folks are saying, can I help them? Can I help them? Can I help them? Because I offered Miss Claudette some help. You know, I can only focus on her right now. I want to help her. Again, you know, she's going through something, and just God impressed it upon my heart to do that. But, you know, hopefully in the near future, we could try to put something together like that. But I just wanted to put out the numbers that these guys don't get paid, and all the time that they invest in their software to better your guys' lives and my life, to leverage these tools to automate our business, and folks take it for granted. So at the end of the day, you know, just bear with us, and hopefully if Claudette doesn't mind, I'll try to, you know, document it, because one thing for sure, I'm not going to sit there and help her till she, you know, makes 5 figures a month. My goal is to help her get those small victories, and then from there she can be on her own, because I'm going to teach her how to fish so she can fish. I'm not going to provide her fish continually. Once I see that she's made her first 1, 2, 3 sales, I'm going to say, okay, you've learned it. Now apply it, mass, take action. You know, do your thing. I'm not going to sit here and, you know, set a $2,500 a month goal for her, because I'm not going to be there with her every day, making sure she has it, you know, having a gun to her head. You know, I am a drill sergeant type of coach, mentor, instructor, if you will. I don't coddle people. I just want you to know that. I'm a person that's going to tell you like it is, whether you like it or not. I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to be your coach, your mentor, and help you succeed at the end of the day. I just want you guys to have a little bit more respect and think about when we're posting in the Facebook groups about what these guys are going through when they're supplying you these amazing tools. That's all.
Another person asking about secret features again. Sorry, folks, you're going to have to wait until I got the time to support it. I can't put it out to the masses.
Oh, but come on, Jeff. You know they just want to know where all of your secrets are.
Yeah. Well, like I said, just the support time alone, you know, it is it takes a lot, and I've now moved the support over to the programming team, except for licensing. I still had today my Sunday, I still had a half a dozen support calls come through my Skype. I guess I have to retrain everybody on where to direct their questions. My fault.
You know, Lisa Nichols says you have to train people how to treat you. You have to say no more often so you make your yeses more valuable. Let me repeat that because a lot of us don't get that, even including me sometimes. You have to say no more often to make your yeses more valuable. And you have to train people how to treat you.
You know, that's a very valuable and true thing. I actually had this guy, you know, we all have people like this reach out, and I had this guy reach out, and he wanted to know all of the secrets that I know. You know, he said, he was very blatant about it. I want to know every secret that you know about internet marketing and about streaming videos. And, you know, I want to do a live consultation with you. And I said, okay, if you want to set up an hour, here's the page, and here's a, consulting charge for this. And he got very insulted with me, said, I never want to pay for information like this. I only want it free.
Well, you know what? It's funny because then you really don't value it because we're talking about things that have the potential to change your life. So obviously, it's like with us. When we work with local businesses, they don't want to put skin in the game. And that's what I tell them. You got to put skin in the game if you expect us to take the time and the resources away from what we're already getting paid for. Would you go to the doctor, expect to get seen for free? Would you go to an attorney, expect to get him to handle your case for free? They're willing to pay for other professional services, but they're not willing to pay for our information that took us years, blood, sweat, and tears to learn.
And Mark, don't forget, quite a bit of money.
Oh, don't get me started on the money, brother.
You don't get through this game without making a whole series of investments, some good, some not, right? I mean, if I had back everything I spent on IM, I could retire for the third time.
They're not going to believe this, but there were years where me and Jen were easily spending over $50,000 buying other people's products, services, coaching, mentoring. Some of those platinum clubs that are out there are $25,000 a year, let alone buying when we were caught up in the whole, the next shiny object syndrome. We were spending money on JV, at the time with Warrior Plus, WSO products left and right. And then we got into the JV Suit products. And you're constantly trying to buy the next best thing to see if that's going to be the magic pill. This was years and years ago. But I have a saying. And this is what the IMers are really good, and marketers in general in that space are really good at, you guys. It's the triple I syndrome. And I said this from stage, and I don't remember where I was speaking at. I think it was at Ross Goldberg's last Internet Marketing Summit. I said, you are all infected with the triple I syndrome. And they were like, what the F is this triple I syndrome? And I said, the Internet marketers infect you by giving you intentionally incomplete information. Intentionally incomplete information. It's like a crack dealer giving you a little bit of crack so you keep coming back for more. And that's what they do. They have thought 2, 3, 4, 5 products ahead. When they sell you the first product, there's always an upsell, a downsell, a one-time offer. They think of that way. These guys on the call today and the panelists today, they don't think that way. You heard Jeff Evans say, I'm not getting affiliate commissions on this stuff, you guys. I just negotiated a discount for my people, and I'm not making any money on the back end. So what more do you want from me? But yet people still want more. Jeff's sitting there opening up his veins, feeding you his own blood practically, and people still want more. It amazes me. Frank Thomas had to step out. He said, thanks a lot for the invite, Jeff.
I really appreciate the fact that he was here and all of you and what you were able to share and your personal stories, the success, the would-be failures, the insights. It's always a privilege, folks. I think we're going to have to let Mark go. I want to say one last time, Mark, thank you so much for the use of your account. I was happy that we didn't have to lock anybody out. I am on a trial of GoToWebinar, which only gives me 100 seats. And while I don't mind spending the $249 to go to the 500 seats, I really hate to give up what I'm currently getting for free. It just rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah, we still have Tim Parker came back, so Tim Parker's back on. We have Michael,
Wow.
of course, you, Jeff, and myself. And of course, we got the audience listening.
Does anybody have any questions before these people who have been so generous to me and you with their time get back to their lives?
This is your guys' last chance. Forever hold your peace. Anything burning at this question that hasn't been answered that you got to ask so you can get it out. So that way we can address it right now before more support tickets are open or PMs on Facebook are placed.
And I hope all of you have gone into the file section of the Facebook group and collected the zip file with the new manual and the strategy piece.
Yeah, that definitely is up there. It's in a Facebook post as well as you click on the link for files at the top of the Facebook group page. It's in there. I have ASAP asking, I can't access the software. Any chance to priorities the access issues? I'm not sure what he means. I don't know if he's opened up support ticket. His ASOF G.
Okay, if he's talking about Buddy VIP, go ahead and put my Skype on the paper there, and he can contact me as soon as we disconnect.
Okay. You want me to put your Skype on the paper?
Jeffrey.evans62, yes.
All right.
I published it everywhere.
I'm doing it right now. He said yes, he opened a ticket.
Well, the support staff that goes through the tickets initially, if this is a license issue, it should have come to me at license@buddyenterprise.net. But if it's anything else, it goes to the support staff, and they're not 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This is Sunday. But if you contact me on Skype when we're done, I'll see what I can do.
One more time, Jeff, I apologize. What is the Skype?
Jeffrey.Evans, EVANS, the number 62.
Okay, I'm going to reveal the screen right now and double check that that's the correct one right here.
That is correct.
They are asking if we could put a few more case studies in the PM, if people wouldn't mind if there's any case studies that could be shared. They'd greatly appreciate it. Any insights on ranking an unbranded video and having the callers question why the company name isn't in the video? That's Chris. I'm not sure what that. Any insights on ranking an unbranded
Okay,
video?
repeat that first question for me again, please.
Any insights on ranking an unbranded video and having the callers question why the company name isn't in the video?
That would have probably been a good one for Holly, but Tim? Is Tim still with us?
I told he was on here because he had.
Yeah, Jeff, I'm sorry. I was doing something else. What was that?
That's okay. We'll do the question a third time, but I think this is probably a good one for you.
Okay.
Somebody's asking, gentleman by the name of, couldn't be a female. Chris is asking, any insights on ranking and quote-unquote unbranded video and having the callers question why the company name isn't in the video?
I've never heard anybody complain about that. They're looking for a way, most of the case, if they have an interest in actually reaching someone who can help them. I personally always use my own call tracking system so that I can get back to the client and let him know, or he can listen to it, or she can listen to it and find out, how it's being handled on their end. But the whole idea is to make their phone ring. At least that's the way I see it.
So you do it through like Whisper technology, Tim?
Yes.
Okay.
I use ACT, analytic call tracking.
Right.
and it does a hell of a job. It's got a lot of features, probably the best on the market in my opinion.
That's Joe Troyer's, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
But I always, even for a client that, they're here today, gone tomorrow. So I use my number, so I'm in control of it. So if that AC guy or that painting company, either doesn't pay me or whatever, I'm just going to redirect to call somebody who is.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. One final really important tip for everybody when you put your money videos down. I know this is a sidebar, but you just hit something on the head that I think is so important. I wanted to share and I forgot to share it, Tim. When you guys put your money videos up, think about using something like Pretty Link for redirecting your affiliate links, because if an offer goes away or stops paying, you did all that work to optimize the video to get it ranked, it's driving traffic, people are clicking on your link to a dead product, or maybe they're not paying you, or whatever the case may be, then you can always go back into your description and update that link so you could point to a new product that may be better converting along the same lines or whatever. But try to think about masking and redirecting your affiliate links.
That's a fantastic and so true. We call that switchbox SEO. At first, I didn't really get it when I first got into marketing. The idea of why in the world would you use, like, say, a website, like a 301 to rank someone's website, or even a something like that for ranking your videos. And the idea is to protect your assets. Because I cannot tell you, and I know that you have also, the other panelists up here, have also been burned so many times, and other people have been burned so many times. You rank someone up, you get them really high up, they drop you, they stop using you. Always use your own assets to do your video marketing. And if you're going to do like an unbranded video, sure, a client may get upset, hey, you don't have my brand on there. Well, you're paying monthly. You're on my branded channel. This is not your channel. Make sure you use your own phone numbers. Make sure the websites that you point them to are your own assets. Just like you said, if it ever dies or if it ever goes down or the client stops using you, keep your video up there. Keep it ranking. Go find another client.
See, with CPA offers, you're doing a lot of more generic products versus these WSOs and JVZoo launch products that have specific names. So you're going after weight loss or whatever the case may be, right? Skin care, whatever. You find a better converting product, switch out the landing page, switch out the link in the description. So that way, as Michael said, you own the asset. Because at the end of the day, people will think, oh, you know what? These videos are ranking high. I don't need you anymore. I'm going to stop paying you. Oh, okay. So then what you do is change the redirection link to an opt-in page, start collecting the leads, and do like Tim, start selling the leads to their competitors. I could hear crickets.
Yes, I hear those same crickets. I'm not seeing...
What was the plugin name? Pretty Link Pro. There's other redirection services out there that you could pay for. A lot of people use stuff like Google's URL shortener or Bitly and what have you. But a lot of those things, some of the internet service providers are starting to filter them out, seeing those things as spammy. So you could put like a Pretty Link Pro or another affiliate redirect script on your own domain, and set up a WordPress blog, some kind of site that says something like myfavoriteproductsreviews.com or whatever, and then put that redirection script on there, and then just redirect them from your domain or what have you. You can have several actually. Have 2 or 3 domains that you're using for redirect. And somebody mentioned, what about Prosper 202? And Michael had mentioned, 301 redirect. There's different ways to do it. I'm just saying to think about implementing that in your business model, so that way if somebody does try to burn you or stop paying you, you can go ahead and redirect that traffic.
This is going to be the easiest support ticket I've got all day. He says, I've only installed it on 2, and it says allowed number of activations has been exceeded.
One last thing, because BJ said nice tips on owning the properties. I knew that Michael Bowes guy was sharp. So my contribution didn't count to BJ, but that's okay because I hope to lay the smackdown on this one.
I have gotten a lot of good stuff. I've gotten a lot of good stuff out of Michael, you know, in talking to him. Things that I had never thought about. I thought I knew a thing or two about SEO, but some things that he does with video that I had no clue about. And he gave you one of them earlier. He didn't tell you every way he uses it, but that whole unlisted video thing is gold for whole lots of reasons.
You know, I'm glad you brought that up because another thing you want to do when your videos are unlisted, and this isn't what I was going to say earlier, but that's when you want to pump your video or boost your video when it's unlisted so it's not attracting as much attention. And then once you get it seasoned right, then you go ahead and go public, like right before the affiliate launcher or jackings, what have you. You want to do all your black hat stuff when it's unlisted and then go public once you've seasoned it. But the tip I was going to share, I'm sorry, go ahead, Mike.
No, go on. I was going to say, you know, Holly was trying to get that out of me earlier today, and I was being tight-lipped on it because she was trying to get me to reveal that method that I had. I spent about an hour last night with her, showing her my secret method with video ranking. But yeah, what you were just saying about using the unlisted, you can pump them up as much juice as you want when they're unlisted, and then turn them live. That's a fantastic way of doing launch jacking. And like I was saying earlier, if you do that, do it not with one video, but do it with at least 3 videos. So if one goes down, you have another 2.
Awesome. And this final tip that I wanted to share was, I know these guys know this stuff. We all kind of know this stuff, but we're not sharing everything because either it doesn't come to mind or, you know, we don't maybe want to share it. But at the end of the day, no one's talked about siloing. And you guys think about siloing your networks, your channels, and what have you. So, you know, you have your YouTube video, you have your channel, and then you have your playlist. Think about siloing. Think back in the days of you know, link networks and link wheels. And who was the gentleman that brought up the like real famous PDF on the butterfly wheel and this and that? Michael something. He talked about creating these silos, these theme sites where you could apply that same information to your video marketing on YouTube.
Yeah, you make an excellent point. Something that people think of, you know, they think of the IFTTT networks. I always hear people, you know, you got to do IFTTT, IFTTT, IFTTT. Now, I love IFTTT, don't get me wrong. I think that's fantastic. But something that people just kind of let on the side is video siloing and doing siloing with your video networks, internal linking, internal siloing, internal playlisting. You know, the ability to create massive playlists, even like, dare I say, unlisted playlists. We teach some...
Touché. You know,
folks, if you let that just go by and you didn't catch what he said, he's probably not going to repeat it.
I mean, this is how you take over a market and niche. This is how we're applying when we're going after chiropractors, we're going after attorneys, divorce attorneys, what have you. It's siloing. It's setting up your niches in theme variations. And you know what? Do you guys mind if I take a second to draw it out? Would that be okay with everybody, or you guys want to hang out?
Right ahead.
I mean, this is something that we were doing way back early with the Web 2.0 when we were first putting out Web 2.0 networks, before people were talking about PBNs, because this was, I can't think of the gentleman's name that put the book out, but it was a phenomenal book on how to create link networks and how to link to your money sites. So let me see if I can draw this out for everybody, and hopefully they'll have a better understanding of flowing. Okay, here we go. See if I can get a color. Let's try money green, or that's too bright of a green, but oh well. So you have your YouTube video, and forgive me, this is a mouse, it's not my finger. And then you have your channel. Wow, that's really horrible. And then you have your playlist. Right? So as you're building out your networks, this is your money site. This is god ugly. This is how I used to do it. And I say used to, because I'm not going to share with you guys what we do today, but this definitely still works. So here are your, what you could call your doorway pages or what have you, doorway videos or what have you. Only a certain amount of traffic gets in there, and you guys have seen this before. You know, you build out these little silos of videos, playlists, and channels out here in cyberspace. And then all these are directed traffic to these videos. But none of these go into your money site. And that's why you're able to use the GSAs, the Magic Submitters, the X-Rumors, the all the automation tools that create thousands and thousands of links. You drive them all to these and you start, you know, working on your tier 1 and your tier 2 and what have you, and leave this unscathed. So these act like buffer sites, but you use your YouTube videos, your channels, and your playlists as part of this silo. And so, you know, you start taking over niches in all these areas, these different cities. So it could be like chiropractors. Gosh, I can't write with this at all. Let me go back to typing. So you have something like, you want to take over the chiropractor niche. So the playlist can equal something like chiropractors, right? The channel could be something like California. And then the could be something like California. Does that make sense to everybody? It's not rocket science. It's just common sense. This is stuff that has been around for many, many, many years, used in different ways and different technologies. And now with video, we have all these powerful new tools to leverage video marketing, and we're taking those old strategies from the blog and ping days, from the Web 2.0 days, automating all these different things. Now we're implementing it and leveraging video to do the same exact thing. Does that make sense to everybody that's still on the call? If you have any questions about this, maybe we can spend more time under it later. But for right now, I mean, that's kind of the gist of that. I wanted to share that with you guys. One approach, only approach. The more you build out your playlists and your channels and your YouTube video networks, the more quote-unquote ranking power you're going to have as they begin to gain ranking. They call it a ranking power index. It's sort of like the page rank for, remember back in the day they used to say, what's the PR of a page? Larry Page from Google. What's the PR of a web page? Well, now it's like, what's the RPI of a video? What's the ranking power index of a video? So as your networks and videos and playlists gain that authority, then you could add videos into other YouTube accounts and then point to them from these authoritative silos, networked, themed accounts, and give it a boost without having to go outside and paying for views and things of that nature. Because you don't necessarily need to have more views. It's more about engagement and watch time versus views, because anybody can take bots and VAGX and all that and increase views. That doesn't mean crap. It's about people watching the video, I believe, through its entirety is one of the ranking factors, as well as the authoritativeness of the links pointing to it. So you could have a video that has 20,000 GSA links and X-Rumor links, and I have a video that has maybe a couple hundred, but the authority of those links going to that video are much higher than your crappy backlinks. I'm going to beat you every time.
Mark, I've actually tested that, and I took a video and I sent 22,000 garbage links from GSA to it and didn't move it.
Yeah, that's one side. Now the other thing is you also want to think about building page authority to your YouTube account. Now the page authority on the YouTube account definitely helps. Whereas page authority on a website now is looked at as kind of, you know, you don't really think about the page authority on a website anymore, but page authority on a YouTube account really does help on the rankability. The same thing as building trust flow to your videos and to your channel and to your YouTube account. That also really helps. So that will definitely help on your video ranking. Now, you were also talking about sending a lot of links to your videos and helping that boost it, but you were also talking about boosting views. Now, what you can do with your views is use something like crowd search. Crowd search, you can have, you know, guaranteed to watch your video for 75% of it, and that will really help on a drip type of campaign.
Yeah, I like that too, crowd search. There's another tool that we like to use too. But I think I'm going to be like Michael and not share the secret. Just kidding. It's called Clean.
That was Frank. Frank was in here. You know, shut up, Michael. Just keep it to yourself.
It was Holly. Holly was like, I don't know. Should we talk about this? You know, the things I was asking you about last night. Should we? Is it okay?
Yeah, she was trying to get me to spill the beans on my super secret video boosting thing that I do.
Like I said, at the end of the day, most people aren't going to apply this, let alone apply it, quote unquote, right, or put in the effort. Like somebody was just telling me, I thought it was a channel over playlist. Well, you know, you do it both ways. Test it. Play with it. You know, play with everything. Don't just, you know, do it one way. Do it another way. Do chiropractors versus chiropractor. Do chiropractor Chino, California versus Chino, California chiropractor. But the other tool is Claim Social Authority. They also allow you to get some boosting done. You could get views as well as likes and shares and subs.
But like any tool, don't abuse it. Because if you push it too far, they'll just decide that it's not real. People who go to these services where you can buy likes and you can buy subscribers, right? What do you think happens when YouTube comes to your channel? First off, they limit you to showing 300 views until they've gone and reviewed it to see if they look like legitimate views, right? So they'll just say 300 plus, right? The other thing is, well, what happens if they come in and you've got 300 views and you've got 300 likes and you've got 300 subscribers? Is there anything about that looks natural? So use a little common sense when you're applying some of these external tools, because when it goes outside the realm of probability, you're asking for trouble.
Yeah, too many people want to force Google to do something, especially force their video to show up, let alone, you know, this is the question that I love the most when people ask that really irks me, is my video to show up. It's when they say, how can I get video to show my video in that giant one box? How can I force them to do that? I tell them, when you learn that, trust me, we can get you about 7 or 8 figures, probably more like 8 figures. Because you can't force Google to do anything. It's about testing, tracking, measuring, tweaking in order to get found, crawled, indexed, and ranked.
Yeah, and you know, the other thing that I decided a long time ago, and that is, no matter how smart I think I am, I'm not going to be smarter than the collective group of engineers that Google pays to try to keep me from doing what I'm doing, you know. So stay below the radar. Stay below the radar. Here's one of my favorite ones. We have this term, private blog network, but most people don't actually use a private blog network. Most people are going out there and they're buying into a public blog network. The only true private blog network is the one that you don't tell your spouse about. Because as soon as you invite other people in, it's no longer private. And it is so easy for Google to see exactly what's going on. Now, Mark, I'm going to share a little experiment I did a couple years back, well, actually about 5 years ago. But you know how Google has a classification for sites, you know, that Google Reviewers Manual that circulated?
Yes.
Okay, so in it they were they had classifications where you're supposed to their reviewers are supposed to classify a site in one of these categories, and the highest category is vital, meaning this is absolutely the most important, right? Well, I was having a fight with a government agency, and I'm not going to tell you what the name of the agency is, but the name of the website that I put up to embarrass them was called PhilippineImmigrationCorruption.com, all right? And I was sitting in this number 2 position. I got a link from somebody who just really liked what I had to say, and their site was a PR5, and this shot me right to number 2, and it held me there. And when I thought my fight was over with, I decided to just do a little test. It's not a money site, right? So I took Scrapebox and I threw 30,000 links at it overnight. And I just wanted to see what the effect would be. They didn't penalize me, but the algorithm fortified the immigration site. So the next morning, I was number 5, and they were holding positions 1 through 4. And previously, they had only had position 1. So something steps in when that is the vital site. Something in the algorithm steps in and protects them so that you can't push them out. I just wanted to insult them by moving my site ahead of them in a very greedy, quick fashion.
Well, you can always throw some negative SEO nowadays. Again, every market niche can't be painted with the same brush. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Back to this question that Jim was asking about the channel being above the playlist. When all things considered, guys and gals, people go on YouTube and they don't create channels. They just create playlists based off of other people's videos. And sometimes those playlists rank without having a dedicated channel to them because they're creating videos based on music or things they like from comedians or whatever it is that they're watching. So when I was saying earlier to, build them out this way and so on, you got to test, track, measure, and tweak all these for all your different markets and niches. Try it this way, then set up another YouTube account and try it this way and just play with it. Like Michael and I both said, you got to keep putting out several videos, several networks, several silos, and just keep testing it to see how well you guys can rank in certain markets and niches. Sometimes you don't have to do as much in order to rank. And I really don't care. I'll be honest with you guys. It's no disrespect to Jeff Evans and the VidPenguin guys and everybody else. I don't care about these things showing up fast. What I care about is these things sticking at the end of the day. I want them to stick and have ranking power. So how do you do that if you're not properly optimizing your video and throwing social signals at it and building out some backlinks from authoritative sources? So think about that too when you guys are working. It's not just about poking, but it's about having staying power.
Well, and don't forget that the poking, the only reason you're poking is to identify opportunities, right?
Yeah.
There's a difference between an opportunity and success. The success isn't going to come if you don't do all of the on-page optimization, right? And then you turn around and you put a few links at it. Here's another one of my pet peeves. You put a few links to hold it in place, to stave off somebody else coming in with an attack, right? Don't kill the frog with an elephant gun. There's nothing left of the frog. All right? Some people got to come in and they want to throw the kitchen sink at it, right?
That's me.
I'm going to fire my ISC nuke, my ultimate demon, my money robot, my GSA, and by the time I'm done, Google is going to be annoyed with you, and you're not going to be able to be found anywhere.
That was my problem for the longest, man. I had to have every tool going at it like crazy and having it run on autopilot from 5 different computers, how many licenses and VPSs, until I realized one thing that you're leading me to a really good point that I wasn't going to share. But God, I gotta keep sharing. I hate it. You could do the video poking thing. Again, video optimization is what's key here for staying power. And so when you're out there testing these niches and markets, like when you're doing the Muncheye launch tracking, oftentimes some people are working a little bit too hard. Oftentimes, I had a product years ago, and I'm not trying to pitch you guys to sell it, so I'm not going to give you the name of it. But what I used to teach people is how to reverse engineer Google. Google's going to tell you what they want to see in the top 10 people. You just got to learn how to reverse engineer and then give Google what they want. So the poking, I'm in love with it, and my wife's in love with it, and she's still asleep, by the way, you guys. But if you guys just take the time to properly optimize your video and take the time to look, like somebody was saying earlier, I think it was Frank Thomas saying, use Google Suggest, use Google Suggest. Well, it's right there. Google tells you everything they want to see. When you're building out your websites, your networks of blogs and sites, or your video silos and playlists and channels, utilize that because they're telling you what people are searching for all day long. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, let me show you guys really quick a quick tip on how to leverage Google, make Google tell you what they want to see. So if we're in Google doing a search, give me a second to bring this up because I don't want you to see other pages I have here. Okay, so here we are on Google search. So I'm going to look for something like what's a big launch right now, or we don't have to. We'll just do the chiropractic thing. See how it's suggesting what I should be looking for, what other people, I should say, have been looking for. Chiropractor Chino Hills, chiropractor Chino CA, chiropractor Chino Hills CA. So that already tells me I should be creating videos in those niches. Number one, channels, playlists, whatever you want to call it. Creating those 4 right there, number one. Number 2, when I come down to the bottom, here's my silo and my network. Now that's just for looking up chiropractor. You could do the same thing for affiliate products. Now, I'm not going to optimize for a particular doctor unless I'm working, to get his business, because these are all individual doctors. But if we were to do something like, what's a launch that's happening right now? Anybody spit one out? Explaindio was a big one. Explaindio reviews, Explaindio tutorials, Explaindio 2.0. So now I do a search for that. I want to reverse engineer and have Google tell me what their tags are, what their description is, how many words they're using, how many characters, are they using it in the title tag, everything that you learn from basic SEO for websites, on-page SEO, think of it the same for on-page video SEO. And then come down to the bottom and see, are they suggesting any other terms for me to utilize? Of course, you're going to use your keyword planner tool or whatever keyword research tool you have access to get more relevant keywords. But that's one quote-unquote easier way to do it, is finding out the vulnerability of a search term by using Buddy VIP to see if you can break in. And then once you find out that you can break in right away, then go ahead and just put in the most optimized video that you can, and then you won't work so hard. You won't have to. Sometimes you can get in there and stay in there without throwing one backlink at it, one social signal or anything like that. You just get in there because you're the most optimized piece of content.
I want to say something about that, and I want to emphasize this by telling you that I put my money where my mouth is today. I don't know if the tool is everything it promises to be, but somebody came out with the tool, and there was an opportunity to buy a lifetime license. 2 licenses is $297, okay? And all this tool is for is to help you optimize your video. That's all it's for. That's how important I think the on-page optimization is. $297 went right out the door.
It's everything. It's everything. It really is, because I'm telling you again, I can't emphasize this enough, and I don't know about what Michael and Frank and everybody else, Tim on the call, think. Holly. who were on the call earlier, if you spend the time after using Buddy VIP to tell you where you can get in, spend the time to properly optimize your video, then you don't have to take it the next step of building out the channel, the playlists, and backlinks and social signals. It's only when it's more competitive, like you're cooking. I always tell my clients, listen, I'm baking you the cake. You got to provide me the ingredients. So it's seasoned to flavor, right? You want to season it to flavor. So in some niches, you got to add more. Some you got to add less. But no two niches are alike. No two searches are going to be alike.
Do a little bit, give it a chance to react. Do a little bit, give it a chance to react.
Right.
You know, a lot of the impatience today makes me laugh because I remember Google before the caffeine update. Remember that? Remember when you used to make a change to a website and you hoped that in the next 8 weeks they would come by and crawl you again, and you hoped that you were on the nearer side of the 8 weeks than the further side?
Right, and you try to cheat by doing blogging and pinging and running it through index, services like PingGoat and things of that nature to think that you're actually going to force the crawlers to come, and then after the crawlers come, that force the index and force the updating. That's what we think because we're human.
Yeah, well, we tried everything out of desperation. I mean, what is it to make a change and then wait so long to see what the result is? And the only way that you could possibly have the patience to do it is if you're working on a ton of different sites at the same time. You do it and you forget about it. Because if you go back and you tweak something again, you don't know if that tweak helped or hurt what the other test that you were running was. It was mind-numbing at times. Oh, good. Today you do stuff and you see results pretty quickly. So there's no need to go in there and hit it with the entire battalion when a single shot from a 45 would have done the job.
Certain tools are good for certain things. For example, an SE Nuke, Magic Submitter or something to that effect is good for still trying to build, authority back to your website. Is it necessarily good for video? It depends on what part of the tool you're using for what purpose. Hey, Jeff, can you check your chat really quick? Tim had wanted me to run something by you really quick. Can you check in there and tell me if that's okay?
Hold on a second.
And while you're checking on that, I just wanted to let you guys know and everybody else, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to leave here in just a few minutes. If anybody else has any questions for me, feel free to post them now.
And this is Michael?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Michael, so he's referring to Live Stream Genius. Questions or any general question?
Yeah, that's fine. That's what he wants you to talk about is fine.
Michael, were you referring to Livestream Genius or any general questions?
Oh yeah, Livestream Genius or anything like that that anybody else had for me.
Okay, let's see if anybody is. They mentioned. I think that was answered earlier. When is LSG Pro coming out?
We're hoping just a few more weeks. I know that we said that a few weeks ago. There's quite a few things that we've been in there tweaking, and we're hoping, again, like I said, mid-February is our goal.
Well, I'll tell you this much, that the price will definitely be higher when that Pro version comes out. So those of you that are considering on the fence still jump on that discount that Jeff was able to extend to you guys, because these guys are gracious enough to offer that to the group. Because once that Pro comes out, it's going to be higher.
Yeah, we're actually raising our main price up by, quite a bit, to be perfectly honest with you, to be completely transparent. That change is going through February 6th at midnight, and after that, the price is going to be where it will stay up for the standard version. The Pro version, of course, we're preparing for that to come out, and that will be much higher, but those fence sitters and anybody else that aren't too sure if they want to jump on right now, if you do jump on, just to put a plug in, your upgrade price will be greatly discounted for current members, just to let you know.
But let's put some numbers on that, though, so that it's in perspective, right? On February 6th, Livestream Genius is going to $497, and the standard price for it today is $297. You have a chance to get it for $147. So you can pick it up today for $147, or you can wait until the 6th or the 7th and pick it up for $350 more. To me, it's kind of a no-brainer, but I guess to a degree, it depends on your financial situation.
Yeah, excellent point. Thank you.
Listen, do what Jen did. Go to a networking event. This is how it came. Let me tell you really quick. Go to a networking event and talk to a few local businesses. Introduce yourself with your 30-second elevator speech. Now, I'm going to share what we say. This is what I've taught my wife to say. My name is Mark Bress. I'm with Blitz Media Marketing, and I own Google, and I can help you own Google too. We leverage the over 1,000 distribution channels out there to help you get ranked, get your products and services branded. We also make it so that when people Google whatever it is that you sell or offer, they don't find your competition. They find you over and over and over, because it's all about multiple listings. When we leverage those over 1,000 distribution channels, we do it with articles, videos, blogs, and what have you. So come see us if you want to own Google. Something to that effect.
There's 72 people right now who are saying, "Oh, I hope this recording works because I couldn't write that down that fast."
Well, they're also saying stop pushing LSG because they don't want the competition. And you live in the abundance lifestyle or law, you guys. Most people, and that's why I said it kind of rubs me the wrong way when folks talk about secrets. But, I understand. They want to keep their, the KFC recipe secret, Coca-Cola recipe secret. I understand that. I get that. So Pepsi can't compete and other chicken places can't compete. But at the end of the day, if we live in the law of abundance and we just think about the universe or whatever it is you believe in, I believe in God, that he's rewarding us and blessing us with everything we have so that we can be better stewards of what we have and be blessed with more. Most people aren't going to take the action because they don't have the ganas. They don't have the fire. They don't have the desire like we do. They don't have the hunger we do. So on some things, I'm not afraid to share with people because, again, most people ain't going to take action. I'm proud of the people that they do because they become a testimonial and a case study for when I sell my next coaching program or in my next course or whatever the case may be. Please wait till after February 6th to get Alice. I'm sorry. Please wait till. Go ahead. Sorry. I'll be quiet. Go ahead.
Yeah. The only thing I would say to that is this, right? We share ranking techniques. We share our process for doing things. We let you into all of that, right? The one thing that you don't want to do in a public forum is go out and talk about your market. And I can give you multiple examples. I have a client right now who he owns a manufacturing company for something. And somebody in a webinar brought this up as one of those great untapped niches, where previously for 45 7, 8 positions on the page. Whole lots of people went in and jumped in. Example number 2, it was an internet marketing conference in Dallas, and there's one of the speakers, one of the panelists, told his 7 fellow panelists about a discovery he had made on AdWords in terms of a keyword. And the following day, he had 6 new competitors in his niche. Okay? So sharing strategy, nothing wrong with that. Sharing your market in a public forum at your own peril.
Very cool.
Because a lot of people think when you tell them about a great niche idea, they think, oh, that's the last good niche idea on earth, and I have to go jump into it. I know you've seen that before, Mark.
Oh, yeah. You know, it's funny you bring that up. I spoke at the first Ungagged on 2014 November. Black Hat World put on this event called Ungagged, which was all more about SEO, Black Hat stuff. And you know what they did? You're not going to believe this. They actually hired security guards to walk through the aisles all day, making sure nobody was recording the event. And it was intimidating at some points because some of these guards looked like they were from SEALs from prisons or something. But they weren't playing. They were not allowing any kind of recording to go on. And there was a lot of nuggets dropped there by some of the gurus, you know, of today's time when it comes to internet marketing and SEO, you know. And so they were also reluctant, and they were making sure to not put out the information, to suppress it, so that it wouldn't get abused. Because there's a lot, I don't know if you noticed that, Jeff, here in this chat or the Q&A, there's a lot of people saying that they're concerned. Competition is not an issue. This is by Daniel. Competition is not an issue. There's plenty of room, and most are not that thorough. But what concerns me are the people abusing the methods and making them eventually useless. And that's been a sentiment that's been repeated today over and over and over, not just by us on the panel, but by several members in the Q&A. And Jeff, Tim was asking you a question in the private chat. If you want to address that. And what Tim wanted me to mention earlier was, while Jeff takes a look at that, there's a new software for on-page optimization coming live from Money Robot owners for websites now, but video is on the way. It will verify your on-page SEO and give you instructions on what to change to make it perfect. And go ahead and check that out, Jeff. Did you want Tim to go over that other question he had there?
Let me see.
There are tools coming out on the market. There are tools that exist on the market for doing what Tim's talking about. But at the end of the day, it's what you do with that information that matters. Having the data doesn't mean crap. Buying the next WSO, JVZoo, or software product that claims to do wonders doesn't mean crap if you're going to leave it on your computer or your laptop collecting digital dust.
Yeah, Tim, let's go ahead and share that for those who are all looking for ways to make things faster, and I know the quality of what these guys put out.
Well, Jeff, I'm not sure how many people on the webinar still are actually Money Robot users. I think one of the things that people who have it know what an incredible tool it is, but what they don't know is that one of the brothers who they probably have interacted with at some point on here is, when I say world class, I don't use that term lightly, and he is in the upper echelon of all these guys you hear about, and some you don't when it comes to pure SEO. I've been around this business now since 1998, and I can tell you in the last, let's see, I guess it's been about 15 months or so, I've had the good fortune to get really close to these guys and have a lot of access to things that other people don't. And I can tell you that I thought I was, you know, pretty much on target with everything, but I've learned some stuff from him. They're just phenomenal. You know, as a result, you know, I've got some sites that people don't know what the hell happened to them. And some pretty tough sites as well. But they've been working on this program now for quite some time, and they just won't let it out until they know it's absolutely perfect. And I expect to see it out later this week, but basically what it's going to do, it'll give you for each area, you know, of your site, it's going to give you very detailed information on the proper on-page optimization as of what's happening currently. Not what happened 6 months ago or a year ago, but what is correct and getting the job done today. And it will continually be updated, but basically it'll go through every aspect, you know, of that page, you know, from your title to your description to your keywords, do you have them, are they proper? You know, it just, I've never seen anything like it. I have had the good fortune to be able to actually see it and see what it does. And I think that most people, they always are a little bit concerned about or don't understand what exactly is on-page, optimization? Well, they've actually put it to use in a format where literally anyone with almost no knowledge of this could go in and understand exactly what they need to do to put that page, in terms of putting it where it should be to get the most recognition by Google or any other search engine that they can. So I'm very excited to see this coming out. I know they've been working on it for a long time. Like I said, Nick, the one most people know, his other brother is the premier. Both of them are coders and programmers, but his brother takes care of the program and Nick does the rest of it there. But I can tell you that this guy, he can hold his own with these Cotton Grammars, these other guys. His knowledge is on that level, and that's no kidding. I'm just feel blessed that I've been able to take advantage of it and learn from him. And I actually discussed with him the possibility of sharing that knowledge. And the best way he can do it is he's very conscientious about his lack of English skills. So he'll type things, but he just won't, he's just conscientious, let's put it that way. But he's reduced it down now so that you can go there and literally you can take your entire website and go through page by page. There's also a feature where if you got all the URLs in your website, it'll give you a detailed instruction on each page of your website. If you follow that guide, there's no way you can screw it up. It's very straightforward. I mean, very simplistic terms, but it will give you the roadmap to put you on the right track to your own page SEO.
Money Robot is, when I first heard it, when I first heard the name, it just completely turned me off. Here was another hypey named product, right? What is it going to do? And then Tim actually introduced me to it, and I fell in love with it. I mean, I don't run as many as Tim does, but I run 24 servers of Money Robot, and I've seen people actually get away with this. This is such a powerful tool. I'm not going to mention any names here, but there are some internet marketers who put out a mastermind. He says, we're going to let you into this mastermind for a one-time fee of $497. And the only thing they put out was an affiliate link to Money Robot. That was their big secret. So let me put my address in here so you can send me the $497 for this big secret.
Just like what Jeffrey's saying and Tim's saying, I'm a huge Money Robot user. In fact, I just went and I got 4 ginormous servers. I thought they were going to be little. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. So I have 4 $3,000 a piece servers I'm getting ready to put in my house here, and I'm going to install a bunch of Money Robot licenses. I already have quite a few on another bunch of servers, but they're fantastic. The guys behind it are fantastic. And, you'd be crazy not to use one of these great tools. It really is truly a great tool for what it does.
Well, there was a question from Cecilia H., which is better, GSA or Money Robot? But I think after all those rave comments and reviews, I think we know what the answer is.
Money Robot comes up with the best content I've ever seen come up with automatically. And it doesn't, GSA goes out and finds linking opportunities. It finds weaknesses where it can go and post on somebody else's blogs and whatnot. Money Robot from the get-go creates the properties that it's going to link on, and it doesn't require the expertise that you need to properly run SENuke. All right, like as an example, it's got an option. Do you want me to create new accounts, or do you want me to post to existing accounts? And it takes your accounts and it groups them into categories, right? So you can turn around what we typically do is we build 3,000 accounts in a niche, and then we go back and keep using those 3,000 accounts. And so all of these properties look like growing websites. And it works with these tremendously great diagrams. It comes with all these diagrams up front. You could go create your own, but it comes with some great diagrams for SEO. And I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they have their fingers in so many different projects at the same time. They're doing a project that, you know, I'll loosely describe as for me, but these may be the first guys who successfully solved Google reCAPTCHA. Nobody's currently doing that. Nobody's really solving Google reCAPTCHA. They may be the first.
Yeah, that is amazing what they've done with that. And another thing is I actually just launched a brand new website 2 days ago, and I set it up as a lead gen for tree services. And I ran Money Robot straight to it. I'm still running Money Robot straight to it. And 2 days after running Money Robot directly to this lead gen website, I'm already ranking for 6 terms. And one of the rankings is on page 2 of Google now.
I want to put a qualifier out there and say, yes, Michael, and that was Money Robot run right.
That's correct. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't want people to go out and buy a bunch of licenses and think they're gonna rank for the term weight loss in 2 days.
No. This takes a lot of time. This has taken. Yeah, let me clarify that. Thank you, Jeffrey. This has taken a lot of time to get down to this method and to figure out what it takes to get the ranking. So don't go out there and spam a website with a bunch of links to something and expect something else. This was a fantastic result, but it was after a ton of different work.
Which goes right back to Mark's point about test what you're doing. Try it for yourself. Don't rely on someone else to tell you. You can try what they tell you and see if it works or not. See what works for you. Well, folks, listen, you are welcome. You are welcome to continue on, but we are running at 3.5 hours, and that means that it is 3:22 in the morning for me. And I'm gonna have to bail out. Let me thank my panelists once again for showing up, and Mark, how long you keep this going is entirely up to you.
I'm not sure how much more I can keep it going because we started at 9, so we're at 3.5 hours right now. I'm just hoping that the recording is not going to crash. You know what I'm saying? After 3.5 hours.
Don't even say that, Mark. There's too much gold in this call for this recording to crash.
So I'm keeping my fingers crossed. And we got a couple other people that already acknowledged they're recording it too. So hopefully we'll get a copy of the recording. If, God forbid, something happens, hopefully we got some backups out there. These folks were saying they were recording it for us too. So hopefully.
Anything from anyone else?
Nope, I'm actually going to wrap it up here myself. I want to thank everybody for having me on here, and before I leave, just again to encourage everyone that's attending here to do your best to test, and to go out there and just constantly try to, find new ways of ranking and better ways of ranking. Don't just follow along with what you've been told to do or what you've been told to rank. And of course, stay away from SOS. Shiny object syndrome. Don't just go buy the next shiny thing. If you see a bass boat go by with lots of sparkles on it, don't go buy it because it's not going to make you a better fisherman. You're going to be a better fisherman by going out there and trying it out and trying out different lures. So just test, and you will succeed.
Good advice. Folks, have a good night.
All right, I'm sending out a message to everybody. anybody that has a copy of the recording, could we send it to our VA, and that way we make sure we have a backup copy. I'll spend maybe another 5 minutes, maybe at the most, answering questions. If there's any last questions, if not, I'll wrap it up here in 5 minutes. I'm just going through the questions right now, making sure we didn't miss anything. If it's a question related to any of the other panelists or their software, I cannot answer that. I can only speak from my experience and what I do. So don't ask me questions about Browsio or Buddy VIP or Livestream Genius. That is, that's their area, and I don't want to speak out of turn. So if you guys want to ask me questions about strategy or methods or anything else that we talked about today, over the next 4 minutes, looks like going on 3.5, 4 minutes, I'm here while I'm reviewing the questions really quick, copy pasting, making sure we have a copy of all the stuff. So again, anybody that got a recording, I sent out a message on the Q&A to everybody. I'll send it in the chat too. If you guys can get me a copy, I'd greatly appreciate it. And guess who finally woke up and decided to join the party? My wife, Jen. 12:33, not bad. Nice to sleep in. We have Jeff and Tim still on. Michael's left. And myself. We got 2.5 minutes. Anything else? Let's see. Just a lot of thank yous, you guys. Oh, I apologize, Josh. It's been on my tongue. I wanted to repeat that for you. I apologize. Josh was saying I mentioned software for social signals. I'm so sorry. I didn't want to interrupt the other people, and it was on my tongue, Josh. Don't think I forgot about you. Yeah, the other software, or not software, it's a SaaS. It's a service, software as a service or a platform, but it's web-based. It's called Claim Social Authority. I believe it's claimsocialauthority.com. claimsocialauthority.com. I believe that's the actual domain. But that's for Josh I, who poor guy's been waiting and waiting for the answer to that. I apologize, buddy. Yeah, I'm in the buddy group. My wife's in the buddy group, Buddy VIP Facebook group. So she's probably in there more than I am. Brilliant webinar. Well, the recording, if you guys upload the recording to a Dropbox and then just email the link to our VA, I sent out the email to our VA, then she can try to grab it for us. Yeah, you're not going to email the recording because it's going to be too big. But if you wouldn't mind uploading it to a Dropbox or something and then send the link to us, and then we'll get that to Jeff, and then Jeff can get the copy out to everybody. Would it do any good to try and rank a video with keyword and a zip code? That's from Al R. Would it do any good to try to rank a video with keyword and a zip code? I used to always tell people to leverage modifiers, which were zip codes and phone numbers and what have you. Lately, people have been talking about that if you put the phone number in the title, that it's actually hurting versus helping. So a zip code in the title, I'll be honest with you, Brother Al, I have not tested it against one video that doesn't have it to see if it gets hurt, but I personally would throw it in there to test it and then throw one up without it, but definitely include them in your tags and in your description. But his question was, would it do any good to try and rank a video with a keyword and a zip code? Let me tell you why I would include a zip code, because the city of Pomona, there's another city of Pomona on the East Coast. And there's many cities that have sister cities the same name in the United States, let alone out of the country. For example, Ontario, California. Whenever we Google something for our clients or working on something for our clients, you look up car repair or whatever, Ontario, California, Ontario, it'll come up with Canadian results. Even though the point of presence and the IP address is here in California, it'll show Canadian results still. Even if we type in Ontario, CA, it'll still think it's Ontario, Canada, and we'll get all these things from Canada. So I would definitely try videos with the zip code. We definitely do that. You leverage all the modifiers that you can. It's definitely something that you want to leverage, especially for folks that are doing mobile searches. Vincent jumped in. You want to leverage it for mobile. You know, the whole, when people type in, they're looking for restaurants near me. Near me is another phrase that we utilize that people are typing in. So like, Chinese restaurant, Pomona near me. Those are just modifiers that you can leverage to try to get some rankings of your videos and posts and what have you. Hope that answers it. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I've seen no evidence of being negative using the zip code in your videos. Certainly, in a metro area where it may not even be a city within the metro, but an area in that section where people would look for a specific kind of a community type area. It's kind of the premise behind the near me stuff, but some people will look for a plumber in 90210, that type of thing. So that, I think that's a good idea in the local stuff, to be prepared if you're going into that, like a metro area where you've got that, several small cities within a metro area, do that for each and every one of them. Don't do it just for one, do it for all.
And you have to understand that some cities have multiple zip codes. So leverage multiple zip codes. Gosh, when we did the water repair, water damage, babe, the guys from Rancho Cucamonga,
Yeah.
remember we asked them for, this was how many years ago? 5 years ago? We asked them for a list of zip codes. We asked them for a list of cities. We asked them for a list of area codes. Here in California, where I live, you have the IE, which stands for the Inland Empire. You have the Antelope Valley, which is out there in the high desert. And then you have West LA, you have South LA, and all that. All these different modifiers you should be using when you're creating your videos. To Tim's point, you use them all. Again, Tim, have you seen any negative effect of putting the phone number in the title? Because I recently read and came across information, I think I read or heard about that. Some people were finding that if they put the phone number in the title, that it was hurting their videos. But again, I don't think you can say that for everybody, because not all niches are being tweaked that hard. So maybe some of those niches are being abused, and maybe Google's seeing that as a negative. But have you seen anything negative with putting the phone number in the title of your video?
Not so far, but we really fine-tune, even in the local area. We really fine-tune it ourselves, even though local is where the client is, not where I am. So we're going to continue doing it. Now, I will tell you this, about probably 8, 9, 10 months ago, this guy Daryl Ives or Eves or whatever his name is supposed to be, the big expert authority on YouTube, and he's got pretty good contacts there. And he did make mention of it in a webinar, that I think in one of his big mastermind groups too, that he received word that it was going to be an impact. But my experience has been with local, that local doesn't have the same rules as other things do. For instance, the thing about duplicate content. For all practical purposes, I just don't see it exist in a local environment. But on a national scale, it could be different. But locally, I just see that there are a different set of rules that apply to them. And I think at this point in time, the phone number is still one of those. I've seen no evidence whatsoever of it thus far. And same thing, I have seen positive evidence, though, by using the zip code up there.
I think the best way to answer everybody is to test it yourself. Create the video, add the phone number to it, create another video under a different account without the phone number. Same to answer Kenneth D's question about how would you optimize a video so it's ranked for a suburb. Follow the same steps and add the suburb name along with the city, along with the zip code, and then create another video, drop the zip code, create another video, drop the city, and just leave the suburb and see what works for you, see what's ranking. People are going to search differently, and sometimes when you put one video up, it'll rank for 3 different terms or 100 different terms based on what Google has available to serve up to the end user. Because at the end of the day, that's what Google wants, is an overall great experience for the end user. So it says one video, one suburb. No. What I just finished saying, I'm going to say it again, just said it. Create example, 3 videos, just an example. You can create more. 3 videos and include the suburb, and include maybe a city or a couple cities and the zip code. And then another video, include just the suburban cities, and then another video just include the suburb. So you have 3 videos out there, put them on 3 different accounts, 3 different channels, 3 different playlists, whatever you want. Test it for yourself. We cannot tell you. We don't have the crystal ball to tell you for sure this is what's going to work. You guys have to test it. As Tim just said, he ranks videos in other cities, even though he's not there, but he highly optimizes them for that particular locale. And last thing was Al said, I have also heard the phone number hurts, but in Chicago, I see guys with phone numbers in their videos, so I'm not sure. So again, all this has to be tested. And I think it varies from keyword to keyword and competition as well, Vincent said. So I think unless anybody has any last remarks, Tim, thank you so much for being a part of this. I was honored to be a part of this panel. Thank you, Jeff, for allowing me to be a part of it. And you guys, I'll get you guys the recordings as soon as I have it available. And God bless you guys. Thank you, guys. Get out there and take massive action, everybody. All right, I think we're ending the call. Thank you, guys. Jeff, anything else?
Not for me.
All right, brothers. God bless you guys. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Bye-bye.